Welcome in, everyone, to another session with the Second Chances. As always, we start with our thank yous, the first of which goes out to Critical Role for creating, over the past, I think, almost a decade now, the wonderful world of Exandria that we are playing in, specifically the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount. Also like to give a big thank you to Critical Role, Reliquary Records, and Dungeon Glitch. You will be hearing music tonight and throughout the stream from all three of them, which you can find on Spotify and various other streaming platforms. Critical Role actually just came out with a new album called, what is it? Welcome to Wildemount, with more songs than the original Welcome to Teldori, and I will definitely be using some of those tonight. So, last we left our heroes, they had taken on a favor, we'll call it, for the gentleman, Ophelia Mardoon, who's the kingpin of the Zadash cell of the Myriad. They went to investigate a storehouse that was in a old abandoned mine, and she wanted them to destroy it. As they got to the end of this mine, after routing out the majority of the Myriad thugs from the in-betweens, they came across the leader as well as a follower of the Plague of Eyes named Lady Decarai. It seems that the Myriad had one idea of use for the mine, and the Plague and Lady Decarai had another idea for how to use it. The heroes interjected, spells were flung, blades were drawn, and eventually the villains died, but the heroes also lost a friend in the newly acquainted cleric, Leah Keldon. They destroyed the mine, headed back towards the Dash, and on the way buried her ashes, and Leo kept the talisman of the Everlight, the goddess Ray, who had saved Leah from a fate years ago in her hometown. Returning to Zadash, they gathered their rewards from the gentleman, which was mostly information, but they also got a little bit of coin on the side for bringing back one of the gentleman's trusted people who worked in that mine. Hermia had visited the Bastion of the Raven Queen and got a vision that maybe Leah isn't as far gone as they would have thought. And somebody else went back to their room, a little disappointed with how the day had went, and started to drink herself into an early sleep. That would be Rosalind. Yeah. So we're going to jump back in. It is still technically that night, as there is a few smaller things that we have to deal with first. So we will start, actually, as everyone does eventually find their way back to the Coral Jug. It is very, very late. We're actually going to start with Maeve, who is sitting down in her room with Luster, preparing a sending stone. I kind of envision that there's a bunch of crumpled up paper, a quill and inkwell that's half gone, as she is trying to figure out exactly what the right combination of words are.
25, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
Damn
Okay.
It. How can I conjunction this?
Okay, can I make this a conjunction?
If it's hyphenated, is that one word?
Oh gosh, what if I get rid of the article? Does it make sense without the A and the? Oh gosh.
Luster
yes.
just buries his head under his front paws because he has no idea what any of this means.
I'll be going to bed soon. I'll be fine. Sorry, I'm trying to look where I
Pulling an Odin and just burying his head in the pillows.
Oh, Odin. Yep, just burying his head in the pillows, just very upset. I don't know why you're so sleepy tonight. I don't know. He wants his beauty rest for some reason. It's very confusing. Okay, I found it. Do you want me to say out loud what I wrote to you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, with a deep breath, she finally, after some, mini existential crises and stuff like that, and something she wrote a while ago, she takes up the sending stone and she activates it and says, "I'm sorry, I can't come home yet. What I'm doing affects the world. I'm not alone. I'll promise I'll get Shauna home and explain everything."
You
set the sending stone on the table and look at it.
Sit there with bated breath, waiting for the reply, and it's a bit quicker this time, but still the seconds seem like minutes. Is that why you left? For Lashandra? Come home. All you need is here. Your sister is gone. We need you home. We love you. And that is the end of the message.
And she bangs her head on the table, gives a very big sigh of frustration and confusion before kind of putting the setting stone back in her pack a little bit frustrated, and just kind of flumps on the bed.
All right. And as you all eventually find rest for the night, it is mostly... Well, I suppose I'll leave it up to you, whether or not it's restful or restless. You will still, of course, get your long rest, but for some of you, it's probably a bit harder than others. And for one of you, your dreams are definitely racked with a bit of guilt. Leo. Your sleep is definitely restless. At first, every time you close your eyes, you see her. Leah. Carefree, smiling, staying as close to you as she can throughout the mine's exploration. Then there's a flash. Fire fills your vision, and her face falls into ashes. You see Rosalind, seething with anger. Fire. Leah again. I had a vision. I don't think I should go further. Was the Everlight trying to warn her? Stop her? Protect her? You see fire. Leah again, falling to ash. Do what you think is right, you tell her. We won't force you. More fire. She falls to ash. You don't want to make a decision you'll regret, Maeve says. Flash. Fire. Her smile turns to ash. You wake up, but you're at a campfire. You see everyone around you sleeping. Chili and Leah are there as well. The fire, barely an ember, starts to spread, rise until it's a roaring fire. Is everything okay, old man? She asks you.
There's a lot of fire around.
Well, the Everlight saved me a few years ago. She gave me a second chance. And hey, that's you guys. That's got to be connected, right? The fire begins to spread towards her. Maeve said I shouldn't have any regrets. And I don't. You watch as the flames rise over her body. Another flash. What are you doing out here, boss? The boys are all inside getting drunk off their asses. We got a great haul today. You're staring into the fire, realizing that you're now standing outside the kennel yard, the base of operations for the Grudge Hounds, staring into a fire by yourself. You don't say anything. The voice you heard was your right-hand man, Steel Bloodgut. For being an orc, Steel isn't as hardy as you might expect, and that's not to say he wasn't a tough son of a bitch, but as your right-hand man, you had others for brass and brawn. Steel was a lot like you. Cunning, quick, fast to stick a shiv into someone before things escalated. He wore a long duster with more pockets and hidden blades than a bag of holding. He had wild hair that never stayed kept and a wicked scar across his throat that he got saving you when you were young. Something that he never lets you forget. You're thinking about the ones we lost, aren't you? The half-orc comes up and slaps your back. Dirt Boy and Ricky Rat were good old boys, but they knew what they were signing up for. Besides, we lost 2, but that caravan was covered in more of their blood than it was ours. You sigh heavily, your head hanging low. More hurt, more pain, more blood on your hands. Cheer up, boss, he slaps you again. We need to get some ale in those veins and get you out of this rut. This is the outlaw life. There's only one way out. Dirt Boy and Ricky found it. This celebration is for them as much as us. No regrets, right? Another flash. You sit up in your bed, cold sweat dripping down your face, your sheets soaked in it. The room around you silent. Eventually, the morning finds all of you. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna take my time getting out of bed today.
Sure.
I'll be up and at him.
All right, so Maeve, you are one of the first ones downstairs.
Sure.
Hermia will be down there like shortly after Maeve.
Rosalind doesn't seem to come downstairs.
All right.
Rosalind is hungover.
So, Leaf, how quickly do you come downstairs? Last we had left you, you were standing outside of Roz's room, watching over her. In a non-creepy way, of course.
He said he had AFK. I don't know if he ever returned.
Fair enough. All right, so we'll say that Leaf, concerned about you, is still standing outside of your room.
He's
So
gonna be
currently,
disappointed.
yeah, currently it's just Hermia and Maeve downstairs, just waiting for everyone, as, you know, no one had really talked about what was going to happen this morning, but now that the gentleman's request has been fulfilled, the plan was to head south to Allfield and leave Zadash.
Yep. Well,
Maeve,
yes?
I didn't get a chance to tell you last night, cause by the time I got back, everyone was already asleep.
Oh, yeah?
But I went to go see the Raven Queen, like her temple, and
Oh.
I did that prayer thing again.
Okay.
That you showed me, earlier, and I had a vision,
Oh,
like another one of weird vision things.
okay. What
it
did
was
you
about, it was about, Leia.
see? Really?
Yeah.
What did you see?
I saw her like leave towards Zadash, but not like towards the Raven Queen. I think like maybe she didn't like pass on. If
Wait.
that makes sense.
So you saw the Raven Queen, and you saw Leah, but Leah didn't go towards the Raven Queen. She went towards the dash?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't think she's like left.
You know, Lester came back.
Yeah.
Who's to say this Everlight couldn't do the same with Leah?
I mean, weird things happen all the time, I guess. I have
Yeah.
a talking sword. I mean, I see some weird shit in the Feywild. We saw
Fair.
Owl Bear Man. No one
We
believes
did see
us.
Owl Bear Man. How come they don't believe us?
I don't know. It's so
Bizarre.
frustrating.
Because Owl Bear Man is a myth, and you turn to see that Zana is currently up at the bar.
Where did you come from?
I've been here for 2 hours. You all sleep way too late if you want to make any decent headway.
Well, some of us were up a little later than others, but
I'm
fair
aware.
point. Well, I'm glad you're here, but, well, regardless of what you may believe of Owlbear Man, Hermie and I know what we saw. And Leo.
I'm sure there's other people out there who have seen him.
At this point, Leo comes down as well, looking probably a bit haggard this morning.
A little disheveled.
Hey, how are you feeling?
I've had better nights.
Something weird happened again?
You guys didn't have the weird dream?
No. What dream? She's recalling the Plague of Eyes and looking at him very seriously. What weird dream?
Okay, so it wasn't like an oracle dream, and it wasn't like the Plague of Eyes talking to me. It was... There's a lot of fire.
Sounds like a
And
nightmare.
I proceed to detail the dream chronically, like what happened to me.
Wait, Hermia, tell him what you saw.
Oh, so I went to the Raven Queen's temple when we got back and did the prayer thing, and I saw a vision of Leia. She was walking away from the Raven Queen and towards the dash.
Wait, what? Like, soon?
No, I mean I prayed to her and I was like telling her how I felt bad and terrible about Leia dying. And I asked, that like she help her, like Raven Queen helps her have like a peaceful, afterlife or whatever comes next. And instead of me seeing Leia like go off with the Raven Queen, Leia didn't follow the Raven Queen. She went the opposite direction.
She
So-
might be. Sorry, go ahead.
So is she following us?
I don't know.
Well, she certainly seems to be following you.
I feel like she's not crossed over into, wherever the Raven Queen takes people.
I hope it's not because I took her charm and I pull it out.
I mean, I wouldn't know.
I mean, did it look like she was... I mean, you said that she just kind of walked away of her own... I don't know how this works, but... I mean, when Lester died, he didn't have a charm with him. Just several years later, there he was. Different, but here. I don't know. I can't say anything what's going to happen, but... It's obvious she's following you.
Or that she
Yeah.
hasn't passed over.
Right.
Like, maybe she's got some unfinished business.
That definitely could be true.
Zana doesn't slam, but sort of puts a drink down after finishing it and starts to walk upstairs and says over her shoulder, "She did say that her god was about redemptions and second chances." And Zana heads upstairs.
That's weird. She just said our name, like in a normal conversation.
Well,
We're becoming meta.
either way, she's not wrong, even if she is deciding that she wants to just say it over her shoulder and walk away.
As
I
Zana
don't
gets
know.
upstairs, she sends Leaf back down to start getting ready, and Rosalind, you hear a knock on your door.
Rosalind's not in her room.
After a minute, another knock. Did you lock your door?
No, it's unlocked.
She opens it.
Inside, Rosalind's room is not empty, but she's not in there. Her
Did
traveling
you-
pack is still there, but
Did you
her-
leave early or in the day, or did you go out a window?
She went out a window
Okay, so then-
because Leaf was standing outside her door.
fair enough. So, seeing the open window,
Oh, God.
Zana follows, or at least
Fair enough.
attempts to.
All right. Mhm.
So, those of you downstairs, what would you like to do now?
Okay, well, I don't know if Roz is here, but,
After probably like when Leaf comes down, after maybe 10 minutes when they don't, you go back upstairs to look for them.
yeah.
Neither of them seem to be anywhere.
Oh, God, Roz, no!
To be clear, her traveling pack is still there. Like, it
Correct.
doesn't look like she's cleaned out the room, but her armor, shield, and sword are not.
Yes.
Where would she go? Okay.
I don't know, but we can always take her bag and go find her.
She went to pick a fight with somebody. I just know it. I have a sense about this.
I mean, when you're upset, you just gotta hit stuff.
Yeah, her
That's what
boyfriend
Bolivia
was here,
tells me to
wasn't
do.
he?
If Roz is going out to do sightseeing, perhaps the rest of us could go do sightseeing one last day before we leave as well. I would
I
like to
suppose-
visit Kieran's garden once more.
That makes sense. Very well. We also have those items to check out with Puma.
Oh yeah, we found a lot of shit.
You do? You do?
So we could maybe do that.
You can go see Pumas.
Yeah.
And before we head out, I'll see and square away my sister, see what her and Trevor gonna end up doing.
All right. So we will have Hermia, Maeve, and Leaf can head to the Pumots. Leo, you can head to check on Halesna and Triv. And Rosalind and Zana are off doing their own thing that if you want to know what it is, make sure you join me and Callie's Discord and look into the channels for written works.
I'm gonna toss the Leia's charm to Maeve to get it checked out by the Pumots, see if it's connected to anything.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
No problem.
All right, so we'll start with the Pumots then. You all head to the Invulnerable Vagrant, and as you enter, you see that there are 2 Pumots standing at the counter. Looks like they're playing a game of cards or something, and as soon as the bell dings as you come in, they kind of shuffle them away, and one turn goes, welcome to the... Oh, Pumots! It's our friends, the Second Chances. Well, welcome
Hey,
in.
Pumots!
Three-peat customers. We love to see them. Well, come in. How is it that we can help you today?
Well, we just were on a bit of a mission, and we found some items.
Oh, the
that we
Second
believe
Chances are
magical,
here! And you watch as a third Pumot kind of pushes out of the beads and goes, oh, well, it isn't all of them. Where's everybody else at?
Well, we've all got some things we're doing. I think Leo is checking on some family, and
Family's
I don't-
important. It's important he's
Yes.
got his head in the right place.
yes, and I believe I think Roz is in a
Went
fight
to go
with
hit
someone.
stuff.
Yeah, she probably went to go hit stuff.
Oh,
We're still confirming that.
well, that's unfortunate. I hope she's gonna be okay. You know, I get it. You know, sometimes you, not us, but sometimes you know, people you just have to hit. We knew someone like that once in another group. A small, you know, rascally little person there, but you know, hit like a truck.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think they work for the Cobalt Soul now.
Huh. Interesting.
So
They-
anyway, what is it that we can help you with today?
well, if you
Found a
wouldn't,
bunch of magic stuff, but we don't
Yeah.
know what it does, and I don't know how to cast Identify.
we were just hoping you could help us identify them. So she'll put the ring with blue gems, the special brooch, the tourmaline ring, and the amulet of Everlight.
All right. Well, looks like you got a bit of a haul here. Now, I know that we have, you know, even in our short time knowing each other, we've developed a bit of a rapport here, but respectfully, we do still have to make a living. So, 30 gold per identify is, you know, going rate for friends and family, if you think that will be acceptable.
That's 120. Yep, not a problem.
That's
All
fine.
right. Well, in
Well,
that case, and the Pumat starts to roll up his sleeves, opens a drawer, closes it, opens another drawer, closes it. Boy, this is a little embarrassing. Give me just a second here. I gotta can't seem to find the thing, and he walks into the back. And the other 2 Pumats. So, what'd you get up to then? Where'd you find all this exquisite-looking loot here?
We were helping out the gentleman in the quarry.
Wait, are we allowed to say that?
Are we allowed to say that? Thought we were. Are we not
Oh,
allowed
let
to
me
say
see if
that?
they know who the gentleman is.
Oh, yeah.
what,
I thought she was woman.
What gentleman?
Oh,
Sorry.
some fancy guy.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, you know, nobles pay well, from what I hear in the adventuring business. And one of the
Indeed.
Pumats is like, you know, as much as I'd like to sit around and learn more, I should probably get back to what I was doing before Pumat Prime comes home and catches us slacking off a little bit. So
You don't want
if
to get
you'll
in trouble.
excuse me. And
Of course.
he heads upstairs. The other Pumat comes out and goes, well, I can't for the life of me find where the Pumat. Do you know what? And he looks over, and the other Pumat's just kind of staring at him. And he seems to be looking at something on his like lapel, and he goes, there it is. And he reaches over and he pulls out of his pocket this little like monocle type deal. Oh, right. No, yeah, I guess you would be needing that to identify these things. Sorry, I wasn't quite paying attention. Yeah, I'm aware. You can go back to what you're doing. I'll help our friends here. And he turns around, goes through the beaded curtains, like, well, all right, no need to get all uppity about it. All right, so let's take a look here. And he grabs the tourmaline ring and puts the monocle sort of on, and you watch as it kind of shines with this effervescent sort of light, or this sheen to it. And he holds it up, goes, oh yeah, that's a catch right there. This here is a ring of cold resistance. You put this bad boy on and attune to it, and you will take resistant damage from any sort of ice-based or cold-based magics. I think. Let me double check that it requires attunement. I'm pretty sure that it does, though.
If you could put the link in the chat, and I'll link it in our.
Yeah, that is the gentleman's request. You guys actually had a chance to get 2 of these, but you didn't check the harpies afterwards.
Ah, interesting.
Oops.
Where is it? Is this it? Yeah, yup. It does indeed require attunement. There's everything you need to know about it. Let's see. The brooch here, on the other hand. Oh yeah, no. This is an interesting one here. Also requires attunement. This is a wondrous item known as a brooch of shielding. So it makes you immune to force damage and completely nullifies any damage from the magic missile spell.
Is that what that guy was wearing?
It was.
God, that's why it didn't work.
Let's see. Let's see. This other ring that you have here is a ring of water walking, uncommon magic item. Does not require attunement, but does allow you to walk across any liquid surface as though it was solid ground.
Roz would like that. She doesn't like water.
And then,
Well, I mean, you can't swim.
Oh, I did almost drown the one time.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is an interesting amulet here. Is this a religious symbol of some sort?
Not sure.
Not really sure. Just part of what we
wait.
found.
Actually, hold on. I recognize this. This is Pumat. What was that that temple and that religion that got uncovered in Vasselheim a few decades ago? Oh, you mean the Everlight? That's the one. Yeah, I think this looks like a symbol of the Everlight. The Dawn Flower she also goes by. I mean, there's a little bit of a divine sort of sheen to it, an aura, if you will, but it doesn't seem to have any particular use in the way you would expect like a magic item to function.
Gotcha. Okay, not a problem. Well, thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
I did have one thing. It's not an identify thing, more of like in your professional opinion
Sure.
kind of thing. Hold on one second. I'll pull out some of the azurite.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Can this stuff be like used for something?
Oh boy, that's interesting looking. Is there anything you can tell me about it? It definitely does have like a magical property to it.
I did. I was able to like identify it and what it is kind of like.
Yeah. Do you want to share any information that you found out about it with them?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you mentioned all the stuff that you found out both in the journal as well as what the gentleman had told you, without giving any incriminating details or whatnot. Oh, that's actually some pretty interesting stuff there. So we've only had a chance to work with Whitestone on a few occasions, but we are very familiar with Residuum. So if this can indeed be manufactured and distilled down, I'm not sure how long it would take me. Obviously the other Pumats I think would be really interested in it as well. But I mean, we could look at processing it into residuum for you if it's possible.
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't know, maybe you could like research it, see if you can use it in your magic stuff.
Oh, I mean, if you're looking to just donate it, by all means.
I mean,
but
like, I don't know how
mean,
much you would need to refine it.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure either, but I mean, it's something that we can look in doing, and if there is an end result product that can be of use, we can contact you with a sending spell and then work something out, whether you're going to come back through here to pick it up or, worst case scenario, we could find a way to maybe send it to you if you didn't mind paying for any particular materials.
So, this is out of character.
Yep.
So, I don't think there's any type of a warlock spell that I need components for.
True. But remember, it can replace components of any kind, including diamonds, if need be.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'll leave it with the Pumat
Okay.
to see if they can refine it.
So the 30G blue azurite that you had gotten, you're gonna give to them.
To see if they can refine it, because on its own, I don't think we can really do anything with it.
Okay, so
Selling
Did
it.
now-
we get like a
I was going to say,
1,000?
I know that you have
We
a lot
did.
more, so if you're just
That's
offering
fine.
the 30G worth, Pumat would kind of be like, look,
You tell me.
respectfully, I'm not sure that this is quite enough to get much of anything done with
How
it.
much?
Yeah, how much?
Need.
We have 1,030.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that to him. I was
No,
just
I'm
gonna
talking
figure
out
out
of.
how
I'm
much you
saying
need.
that- sorry, that was out of character. Just so you know, we have 1,030 of it.
Well,
Gold.
I will let you know that when it is finished, it is basically a less effective version of Residuum. So the way that Residuum works is that you are able to supplement it for any monetary value. So if you have 500 gold worth of Residuum, and let's say you need a 500 gold diamond, use all the Residuum to use it. So it is half as potent as Residuum. So depending on how much you give them is going to determine how much Residuum you get back.
Oh, okay. So 500.
So if you were to give them the full
Worth of that.
1,030, you could potentially have 515 gold worth of Residuum.
It's really up to you. I'm not too worried either way.
Now, out of character, if we don't refine it and just use it as is it still worth just the 500?
As is,
What would we
you
use
would
it for?
Yeah, at this point, this is the first use that you know of it. You do also know that it can potentially be made into sood. So
Well,
your
we're
options
not using it for drugs.
Your options are to turn it into drugs, turn it into Residuum, or hold on to it and see if you can find another use for it down the road.
Hermia's gonna pull Maeve to the side. I say we give it all to him and ask him to refine, and then I don't know, see if there's any other potential use for it. I can't think of another researcher that would help us.
That's fine. I don't really see a reason to hold on to this unless there was another person to give it to. And
I mean, I'd rather Leo not use it to, like, I don't know, get high or whatever he does.
yeah,
Leo didn't get high on his own stuff.
Well, she
That's-
doesn't know that. She just has a low impression of you.
jeez.
Obviously.
I'm not sure if he would do that, but either way, I do agree that perhaps it would be safer in a researcher's hands than anyone else that might try to use it for other reasons.
Okay, so I'll say that to Pumat. I'll tell him, like, the full amount that we have, including my
All right.
30G worth, and ask him if, like, figure out a way if it's possible to refine it, and to, like, if there's, like, any, like, extra that he could, like, use, like, I don't know, just research to
Yep.
figure out if there's anything else we can use it for.
All right, so yep, he takes it from you and lets you know that he will be in contact with you, once they're able to either get it refined or if they find out any uses for it.
Thank you, Pumat.
Oh, you're very welcome, Hermia. It's just me out here right now, though, so the singular is fine.
Well, thank you
Singular
regardless.
Pumat.
Hopefully, that will be helpful.
So
Yeah, I'd be
was
interested
there?
to see if like what you can find out about it. I mean, if
I
we-
mean,
if I had the
definitely,
time,
definitely,
it wasn't you know.
definitely interested, and I think the other Pumats will be pretty hyped up about it too, as the kids say. 100 fire emoji.
Oh wow.
Right.
Was
That
there,
that is excited.
What
Was
is
there
an
anything else you
emoji?
guys wanted to do with Pumat?
I don't
Uh,
think so.
no, I think we're good now.
All right, in that case,
Let me just 2 quick questions,
Sure.
really quick. One, do you want me to keep in the party loot the note that we've given that to Pumat? Or do you
yes,
want me
yep,
to...
yep, that's
Okay.
fine, and don't be afraid to
And-
remind me about it in the future.
Okay,
Um,
and then... Go ahead. I
No,
just
you
have
go
one more
ahead. You had
question.
one more. Go ahead.
So, other question is, you had given us 230 platinum pieces. Can I convert that to gold pieces?
If you would like to.
Thank you. Anyone have objections to me converting it to gold pieces?
I mean,
Does
it
it
makes
cost
it
a
easier.
tax?
It does.
Maybe.
There is a 5% conversion tax rate. JK. No, there's not.
No. All right, cool.
What is it? 5 platinum to a gold or
10.
10 platinum.
10?
to a
I
gold.
thought it was 5. That's
Nope,
fine.
10.
Oh,
All right.
then it's 10. Then the document I was reading was wrong.
All right. So we are then going to jump over to Leo once I get caught back up on my notes. As he goes to visit Halesnan Triv, who you know is at
The slippery
Bale-
nipple?
Nope.
No.
Bale's Ale and Bale Inn and Tavern. So you head over there, and heading on in, you actually see them in a corner booth already, having we'll say an early lunch at this point. And Triv notices you. She has a patch now over the blinded eye. Over here, old man. Even with one eye, you still can't sneak up on me very well.
I'm not even sneaking today. I'm kind
I
of
mean-
hobbling along.
Yeah, you're normally not really sneaking. So, your job went well, I'm told.
Yep, we found the woman you were looking for.
I heard.
Hopefully she's not infested with the plague of eyes.
Well, make sure you know who checks, I guess.
Already talked to her about it.
Halesna goes, so, we've decided to stay in Zadash. You know who is getting us set up. She's also offered some more work to Triv. Triv kind of shakes her head a bit. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll take it. We'll see. The Adrian Guild obviously has a branch here, so I can just, resume working for them and maybe just be a bit of a go-between if need be. From what I've learned, it's a bit more of a symbiotic relationship here than what the Drowned Prince's relationship with the guild is back in Rexentrim. So I think all in all, it's probably going to be a better fit for us here.
I think so too, because my team's getting out of town and we're not heading back to Rexentrim anytime soon. I'm probably going to be leaving the continent.
Where are you going? What leaving the continent to where?
Taldore, maybe. We're just told to get out of the king's reach. Basically, we've drawn too much attention with the calamity and the portals that have been opening up recently. So
And are we in danger?
you shouldn't be, as long as you're not in Rexentrim. And with the who's backing, you guys should be fine here. So
All right, well, oh gosh, Taldore's a long ways away. Find a way to stay in touch, please, and let me know
we've
what's
got a sending
going on.
stone.
All right,
I can
good.
send
Well,
a
if you
message once a
die
week,
or
maybe.
keel over or whatever, just make sure that Roz or somebody lets me know.
I'll try to have them send the body back if you want that too.
Triv is like, no, we don't. They can just burn you under a tree or something. Who would show up, right? If we had a funeral for you, I think,
Oh, wow.
I think we'll be fine. And
I mean, that little
sister
kid in
laughs a bit.
Rexentrim, maybe. Scared the shit out of him. Gave him a lot of money, though.
Well, be safe.
That being said, though, how much money do you guys need to be good for a couple months?
We're fine. With some of the work that Triv is going to be getting and with what we've already been paid by the gentleman, we're good. If you're heading... You realize that you can't just get on boats for free, right? And if you want it to be a bit faster, you could always look into finding an airship as well. So you're gonna need your gold.
Wait. How much are airships? Do you know?
I don't know, but I expect they're probably more than boats.
You wouldn't know where to get one of these airships, right?
Why would I know where to get an airship, Leo?
I don't know. You read books, Lesna.
What?
I know that Port Damali has an airship port. That's about the extent of it.
It's more than I knew, so thank you. And I slide her 300 gold.
Okay, she takes it. And we'll say that you enjoy a lunch with Triv and Helesna before it's time to head anywhere. And eventually, after a few hours, everyone meets back up at the Coral Jug. A bit disjointed, people kind of showing up here and there. And when you get back, Raz and Zana are sitting at the bar. Raz, would you like to describe your state?
Yeah, Roz looks like she's been through a fucking war. Her face, the right side of her face is beaten black and blue. And it looks like she has had a lot of healing spells cast on her very recently to get her back to upright.
I knew it. I knew it. What were you doing? I knew you were in a fight.
He was hitting stuff.
I didn't hit her this time. I didn't
someone
hit
was-
her.
I think someone was hitting her. What happened?
I was hitting them too. Thank you very much.
Who?
I wanted a rematch with Byron before we left.
Okay. And how did it go?
How does it look like it went? Zana takes a sip.
It was closer than that.
I mean, usually this is when you say you should see the other guy, but
You should see the other guy.
He was fine.
He was not fine.
Almost only counts in fireballs and horseshoes.
She looks over at her. It's like,
Fireball.
go fix your gun.
Gun's fine today.
Yeah, I'll bet. Ow.
Oh.
Anyway,
So anyway, are we ready to move? We've already lost half a day.
Well, was there anything else that you needed to do, Roz, before we leave?
Roz grabs her drink and just downs the whole thing and nods.
It's 12 o'clock. Just kidding.
Yeah. She's having it's a heavy drinking morning. Actually, I got one more thing I gotta do before I go, but then I'll be good to go. I promise.
Okay, and that is
It's
if you don't mind me making sure that you're
It's
okay.
not to hit people again.
not to hit anybody. It is kind of private, but it's not. No, I'm not getting in another fight. I'm not intending to get into another fight. Sorry, cover your bases.
Okay.
She glances over at Hermia. Actually, you know what? Hermia, you can come watch my back.
Okay.
Great.
I got. You can count on me, Maeve.
She'll kind of give both of you kind of like, okay. I'll lean to Hermie and be like, she's drinking a lot. Just let me know if there's any trouble.
Okay, so no drinking and no hitting.
That would be very preferable.
Okay.
Just make
Fine.
sure she comes back quickly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hermia like gives you like a salute.
Roz just watched that whole conversation and was
Yep.
just like, subtle.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of looks at you with a shrug, like, I'm worried about you and you're being a little secretive.
Did we get
Fair
a
enough.
keg for the cart?
How about we don't encourage drinking while driving? I did that once
Well,
and it didn't end well.
I'm not gonna drive and
can drink.
drink, but yeah.
We can look into it, see if they have trust. And no more drinking for you.
All right.
I
so,
promise it was to dull the pain.
so as Roz and Hermia leaves, Zana turns to you, Leo. I have 20 gold says that Hermia comes back with a black eye this time.
What?
You're not there.
Oh.
So,
Oh, that better not be the case.
Roslyn, where would
Got
you like to
combat
go?
action.
Yeah, so Rosalind is gonna go with Hermia, and on the way, she's just gonna glance at her and just be like, just make sure I don't do anything obscenely stupid.
I mean, according to my parents, I do insanely stupid stuff like every single day. So, I mean, I'll try to keep you in line, but no
Your parents are-
promises.
Your parents are kind of assholes.
I mean, kinda is a nice way of putting it. They're terrible.
I'm very sorry about that.
Eh.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So she's gonna take her to the nightly nip.
All right. So you head over to see the gentleman at noon.
Yeah.
We'll see how
Yep.
this goes.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
So when you get there, the nightly nip is closed up.
Closed,
As a nightclub, it's not going to be open quite this early. But on a hunch, you try the door to the ramshackle and broken down evening nip next to it. Sure enough, it's open, and as you step in, the two men on either side kind of like stand up, and the bartender just kind of gives you this look like, huh?
She nods and looks in the room. I need to speak with your boss.
And you watch as all three of them kind of like exchange a few glances, and then one of the ones near the door goes back to the bar. They open the hatch up, and he heads down. And what follows is about 10 minutes of the most uncomfortable silence you've ever endured. Even if you try to ask questions or start conversations, they just keep staring at you.
I feel like Roz has a lot of she's used to this. She's seen the party interacting with Uncle Guy before. This is not unusual.
Yeah, but you also have Hermia with you.
I mean, Hermia is a definition of awkward. So
exactly.
She's been in awkward situations.
Like I feel like at one point Hermia tries to get y'all to play I Spy.
I mean, that's on brand.
So after about 10 minutes,
angry.
After 10 minutes, you hear a pounding. The guy lifts it up again. Dude comes back up, takes his chair in the corner, and just kind of motions. So you head down.
Yep.
I wonder if this counts as a stupid thing.
So, as you enter the basement of the nightly nip, the real nightly nip, we'll call it, it's a lot different than when you were down here before. There's no patrons in here. There's not even anyone behind the bar. The lockston that's usually there is gone. Even the ogre with the maul the size of Rosalind isn't at the stairs. There are a few candles that are lit, dimly illuminating the place. And as you walk through, you do see, sitting in her chair, from what you can tell, just a robe. And of course, the big man that was sort of standing behind her with the eye patch is still there, his greatsword leaning up in the corner. Well, what do I owe this unexpected visit? Rosalind and Hermia, you could have came last night with your friends to collect your reward.
Sorry, I was paying my respects to recently deceased friend.
You have my condolences, I heard.
Miss Mardoon, thank you for taking a moment to see us. She looks very, very pained, and not because she got the shit beaten out of her.
Rough morning?
Roz, I feel like you should probably tell the nice Mrs. Gentleman why we're here.
Yeah. I need a favor.
You watch as a smile creeps across her face, those canines becoming even more pronounced. Well, favors is what I deal best in. But I do admit, you were the last person that I expected to come crawling in here asking for one. I
get
get
a thorough
the
reminder.
impression that you don't quite agree with my line of business.
How did you guess?
Oh, I'm a people person.
Of course.
Oh, can you do me? I mean, never mind. That's not important.
She gives you a sideways glance. What is this favor, Rosalind, dearest?
May I approach?
Please, take a seat.
She'll go over and sit at the table, and then she's not wearing her armor right now. She got out of it when she got back to the coral jug. But she reaches up and and clasps off the pauldron. I get the feeling that in your line of work you probably meet a lot of people.
I have a lot of friends, yes.
She sets the pauldron down on the table and then pulls the side of her tank top over the side to show the hole in her shoulder and the large chunk of muscle that is missing out of it.
Oh.
I need someone who can fix this.
You know, Rosalind, you have a lot more assets at your disposal than I think you realize. You came in here the other day, towering over the rest of your companions, wearing that heavy, dreadful armor, wielding a shield and a sword.
Yeah.
You don't
What's your
strike
point?
me as the type of woman who uses her other tools to her disposal. You realize that you can disarm as easily with a smile as you can with a sword.
So I've been told. But, well, I am a fighter first and foremost.
Oh, I'm aware. Most people seem to think that in life you have to be a fighter or a lover. But what's interesting about the other side is that they tend to put themselves at a disadvantage for a pretty lady. It's very easy to disarm them and get them within arm's reach, and if they decide to reach for something else, well then, you disarm them again, a bit more permanently. Think about it. But yes, she reaches out and runs her hand across your shoulder.
She visibly winces in pain as it is touched.
I do believe that I know someone. Maeve and Woodsmile mentioned that you'd be heading south to the Menagerie Coast.
Yes, that's where we're heading next.
Then I can give you a name, but this... She turns and looks to the man behind her and waves him off. And he stands there for another 5 seconds looking at both of you before he leaves. And she stays silent and waits for the door to close as this man goes upstairs. I can give you the name of a dead man. But Rosalind, there isn't anything that I need from you. And a favor granted is a favor owed. Is this something that your honor is going to be able to square?
I'm sorry, did she say she would give her the name of a dead man?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, what do you mean when you say a dead man?
Keep this quiet, or there will be consequences. Most believe this man to be dead, and it needs to stay that way.
Oh.
I see. Very well. And a favor owed, you say?
Mm-hmm.
And what might I be doing?
I don't know. As I said, I have no need for you, no use of you, no favors. That might not change in the future, but it might.
Could I do you a favor?
The favor is from Rosalind. Now, it may include the rest of the second chances, and again, perhaps I never call on you, but a day may come where I need your specific skill sets or reputation, and before I do this for you, I just need to know that it isn't something you're going to back out on.
Can we ask that the favor not be to harm innocent people?
Oh. She just looks at you for a moment, Hermia.
I
It's
mean,
like-
it's a fair question.
It is. I made very clear my stances the last time we had to speak.
I'm not going to
did a job for you.
I'm not going to ask anything of you that would potentially make us enemies. If that were the
Okay.
case, I would just do away with you.
I mean, that's fair.
My Aunt Des used to say it was better to make friends than enemies.
Smart woman.
She is.
So we have a deal? And she reaches her hand out.
Roz takes an extra moment before extending her hand out and shaking it.
As you do, you can't help but feel a slight tingle on the back of your neck. So as I said, most believe him dead, and it needs to stay this way. He got out of this business to reconnect with his family. The gentleman prior to myself. Go to Nicodranus. Seek out Babanan Dosal. You should be able to find him if you visit the lavish chateau in Nicodranus. His daughter is a very powerful and is connected to the divine. She should be able to help or find you someone who can.
What was the name of that chateau?
The lavish chateau. I will put both of those in the chat for you.
I'll put in the notes. Just need to get the. Okay, perfect. Need to go Nicodranus. Okay.
Babanan Dosal, the lavish chateau.
We have
His
to talk to his daughter.
is a
Healer.
powerful healer.
Okay, I will get that.
She nods, kind of just repeating it to herself once and nodding. When you said it made my neck tingle where my tattoo is?
Oh, your tattoo is back there, isn't it? Yeah, sure enough.
It is, yes. Okay. Interesting. She nods, thinking about the fact that her tattoo is there. Wow.
Do you reach back and, like, touch the small of your neck when that happens?
She definitely does. Like, probably with her spare hand.
Anything the matter?
No, just felt a tingle.
I do that to people.
Was it magic?
She winks
Doubt it.
at you, Hermia.
Some things are magical.
No, it is a trait as old as time, I think.
Now, if there
Thank you.
is nothing else, you did wake me, so I'm going to return to my beauty sleep. You can never have too much of it.
Sorry
I wouldn't
for
know.
waking you up.
Yes, thank you for taking the time to see us, Miss Mardoon.
Well, I'm certainly not going to leave before my guests do, so please, off with
Oh,
you.
we would have left after saying.
Oh, okay.
They get up and make their way to the exit.
Hermia's not
Alright.
that awkward.
So, while the rest of you are waiting back at the Coral Jug, about probably them
I
going
did have
there
some
and back.
stuff that I wanted to say to Roz.
Oh, please, then, by all means, as you are walking back, go for it.
So, we can say as much or as little as you want. I don't think this qualifies as, like, you know, a crazy, stupid thing.
It's more of a principle thing. I got some good advice this morning to swallow my pride, and I guess I was due.
So I didn't get to tell you because you were gone by the time I came down this morning, but I went to go to the Temple of the Raven Queen yesterday. And I did the prayer thingy that Maeve showed me. And I had a vision. I mean, I know you like aren't so much on like the god stuff, and to be honest, neither am I. But it kind of changes when you get like a talking sword that's supposedly like from a god. So
I wouldn't
anyway,
know.
I mean that's what Boromir is.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had a dream about Leia. Um, so I saw her walking away from the Raven Queen and towards Zadash. Like, she didn't cross over to the other side with the Raven Queen.
That's interesting.
So I feel like maybe she's still here.
The Raven
Like,
Queen
we
is
haven't seen the last of her.
The Raven Queen is one of the few gods that are here that are shared in my world. My uncle is a avatar for the Raven Queen. Which is a weird thing to say out loud now that I think about it. You know, when you're away from it, actually, it is a weird thing to say out loud.
Didn't you say he had, like, kind of the same job as Bomir does?
Yeah, his arm actually is the vessel that can transport souls to the other side.
So it's not that weird.
No, it's definitely weird. It's just you get used to it when it's part of your life, I guess. Yeah, I guess I can't say a whole lot for the Raven Queen. Her and my kind don't get along very well.
What do you mean? I mean, she's pretty chill with most people.
We don't die, though.
Oh.
When a Kalishtar dies, they are reborn immediately as the quarry spirit to their spirit.
Roz,
So-
make a religion check with advantage.
That's pretty good. What is my plus to religion? 0. That's very fitting for Roz. 17 plus 0.
Okay, that's not bad. Back in Vino, it's interesting, the relationship culturally between Kalishtar and what they believe of the afterlife. But you have an uncle who works for the lady.
Yeah.
So you asked him about it once, and it took him some time to get back to you. But the Raven Queen isn't a goddess of death, which is what a lot of people associate her with.
Right.
She is... Her realm, compared to the other gods, is quite small, very niche. It is the passage from life to whatever comes next. Whether that is death, or whether that is reincarnation or rebirth. So you know that the Raven Queen does actually still play a role in helping Kalishtar get from one life to the next. What that means and what that's like in comparison to a regular soul that just passes on is anyone's guess, and even Levix didn't have an answer for that.
Fair enough.
Hermia will say, I was gonna say this regardless of what Roz rolled, but the Raven Queen, isn't. I don't think she would be mad at you for that. I think she's more of like the natural order of things. We're here, and then we move on to the next thing. It's not like you're, using some crazy magic to make yourself live forever. That's just how you are.
How I was, anyway. But yeah, it's an interesting relationship with her, because I guess, yeah, for my people it doesn't mean, for most, the Raven Queen means the end of whatever their existence is, and for my people, not so much.
To be honest, Roz, I'm not sure what's next for a Ladrin like me. I mean, I know we get super old, we're around longer than people are, but I mean, usually we treated us kind of like, the typical last rites is like a celebration of life, and just like there's like a cycle of seasons, so is there a cycle of, life and death. But we really don't, go into much about like what exactly that is. Kind of like it's the next adventure.
That is a nice thought. I sometimes wonder if I died back home, and that's why I'm here.
Nah.
You don't think so?
No.
That's comforting.
I feel like if you die, like, and you're like in a different place, like you wouldn't have like as solid of details of like memories like you do. I mean, I can barely remember what I ate yesterday. So there's
Shadow
no
would
way...
be a lot happier as well, Roz.
Okay, well, ouch. That's not very nice.
I didn't say that. I don't know who did.
Sorry.
Only
my-
Roz
my
heard that.
sister-
I
yeah,
also
my
need
sister
both
was
of you
talking
to
me.
make dexterity checks, please. At disadvantage.
Why? What did I do?
Oh, no.
Checks or saving throws?
Sorry, saves. You're right. Sorry, yeah. Dexterity saves at
plus
disadvantage.
Hermia.
You're welcome. It's a good difference.
Wait, what?
Wow, Callie. Those are some
Hey.
rolls with only a
Yeah,
plus
awesome.
5.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
At disadvantage. So, yeah, 21.
Wait,
Still,
you said disadvantage?
disadvantage, please. Yep.
Okay, I got a 7.
Okay, as you two are walking and talking, you suddenly hear, "Watch out!" And Raj, you turn to look just in time and just dodge out of the way as a goat ball goes flying and then collides with Hermia's face. And then you see these kids come out. "Oh my gosh. Oh, we are so sorry. I didn't... Get the ball and run!" And you watch they just run and grab the ball and take off down a side street.
Oh, it's just like I never left the academy. Brings
Oh,
back memories.
Are you okay, Hermia?
I mean, I've been hit harder. I think I'll be okay.
That's
No
not-
damage, but you can definitely tell that's probably going to leave a mark.
Sorry,
well, we'll
Leo.
match then.
I mean,
Yeah.
Never
So-
bet the DM. Never bet the DM.
Hey, I had
Never
both of them
bet
roll.
The DM.
First of all, any roll over a 10 and they both would have dodged it, okay?
I rolled a 5 on the second roll.
Did Robbie go roll that for you? What the fuck?
What, a 5? No, I just wasn't gonna lie
Well,
on
yeah, but what's your
something that was probably
dex?
trivial. My dex?
Yeah.
It's only +2.
Okay, well, you get a +4 bonus from me. You rolled an 11.
Oh.
Well, sorry, it's already in
No.
canon.
Yeah, I was okay with that happening either way. I mean, it's just like a...
So,
Okay.
yeah, as
Fight.
the two of you get back and walk in, Zana just puts her hand over to you, Leo.
Oh my word! What happened?
She got hit in the face with a goat ball.
It's okay, I'm used to people throwing things at me.
That's not okay. Why were you thrown with a goat ball?
Some kids were playing in the street and
Okay.
they threw it.
Well,
Some
how
kid
was
sauna paid and I put the gold in her goddamn hand.
She-
ignore them? I
she
just tried
adds
Donna,
it to
you
her coin
paid
purse.
people money to throw things at me?
No, I didn't pay anyone to throw things at you.
Leo, why are you lying?
He's a sore loser, that's why.
Why would you believe her over me?
All right.
I mean, you're a shifty old man.
She's a shifty 20-year-old.
I've never lied to anyone in this group.
Rosalind thinks about that for a moment.
I know.
X to death.
X to doubt indeed.
Yeah, Hermia, like... kinda
What
raised
has she
eyebrow.
lied about?
We don't know. We
I feel
don't
like she
know if
lied
she's
to us
lied. That's the
Plenty when we
thing.
first met her.
I think it's more of admission.
Yes, lies of admission are different.
All right.
Raz, everything all right?
She nods. Yeah. We're heading to Nicodranas on the way to where we're going, right?
Oh, very
Yeah.
likely. Yeah.
After we go see if my brother's still in Crossenwald.
In Trussenwald?
Right.
Great. I need to see someone while I'm there, if that's okay with everyone.
What's
I
it
mean-
regarding? Your blood?
No, actually, I'm still hoping Kaylin will come through on that one. I wasn't really keen to tell the gentleman about that.
Oh,
No,
okay.
yeah. So she'll if you guys were paying attention in the hot tub when we had our bathhouse scene, you've seen this wound on her before, but she'll show it to everybody.
Okay.
And there is just a chunk missing out of her shoulder, where there was once muscle. She's like, there's someone in Trostenwald whose daughter can heal this. And it's past time for me to stop handicapping myself and get it fixed.
Okay. Very well. Then that's what we will do.
And downside to that is I will at some point, in all likelihood, owe Miss Mardoon a favor.
Ah.
But
You're on
don't
table.
worry. I made sure that I told her that we wouldn't do anything to hurt innocent people.
She did, right in front of everybody.
Good. I'm glad. I'm sorry she wasn't able to wrap that into the earlier arrangement, but
Well, why would she?
right.
That was my own damn pride. It cost me that. I could have asked for that favor originally, so I'll own the consequences of that one. But
It's all right.
my fight this morning with Byron,
Open some eyes.
I wanted to beat him without using my magic. I wanted to win the way I used to fight. Just sword, shield, and be better than the other guy. And if I had used my magic, I would have won. Instead, I lost.
I think
Which, in a
that-
fight... Oh, sorry.
I think like, I mean, if if by your logic, like, then I am terrible at swordplay and being part of this group.
She looks at you for a moment at that, Hermia. No, you're extremely talented at what
No.
you do.
Boromir is the only reason I'm able to fight. I mean, yes, I understand intellectually, like, what goes into, like, you know, the different maneuvers and whatnot, but without it, I can't cast magic. I can't even, like, you know, fight as good as I do. I think Fulmir is the first weapon that I'm able to, like, actually use without falling on my face.
I would say if there was a look to describe Rosalind, it's a little humbled at the moment. Thank you, Hermia. I think you might be right. Not about you not being able to do anything without Fulmir. You
Well,
Of course.
are
I mean,
perfectly
that's part
capable.
of the
But
part of the argument.
no, you're right. This is part of who I am. So I'm not going to do anything that's going to put you all in danger because I didn't do everything I could. So I'm going to use my magic from now on and not worry about it.
Good.
And I'm going to get my shoulder fixed and yeah.
You'll
When
even
next
be
time I see
more
By-
powerful than when you were, like, before it happened.
next time I see Byron, I'm gonna dunk on him.
Kick his ass.
Fair enough. Well, let's hope we can get you healed up first before that happens.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna take the first shift resting on the cart. My face hurts a lot.
I'm not surprised. I will be sure to maybe apply some herbal remedies on both of your faces, apparently.
Oh,
Yeah,
actually, that'd be great because that stuff that I have tastes terrible.
Leave, can you heal my face?
Zana goes, what stuff?
The thing in the jugs that we got.
The cream?
It's cream? You don't drink cream. You apply cream.
Did you drink it?
You can eat
I-
cream.
I did. Well,
No,
I drank
no,
it because it's like a health potion.
No, it's like on your skin. It's meant
It's-
to help.
It's an
wounds on your
ointment?
skin. Yeah, ointment. That's what I should have said.
You don't drink ointment.
You can
How-
eat it.
Oh.
How's your stomach not upset? This is
Well, I
actually
thi-
rather fascinating.
Well, I didn't. I mean, it was. I mean, we were kind of distracted with getting murdered by the Myriad at the time.
Fair.
But
Mm.
she looks very embarrassed.
Well, don't eat it.
It
and
could
don't-
be a good bar trick, not gonna lie.
All right, we're losing sunlight. Can we go, Leo? Gracie has something for you to carry, and Zana walks out, and the bartender reaches down behind the bar and lifts up a miniature little keg. Here you go, all paid for. She said that you'd be carrying it.
Maeve,
Okay.
I thought
Yeah.
you said that we weren't doing that.
Well, they got it anyway. I was outvoted.
Roz will go over and help carry it.
There you go.
I'm gonna go grab Luster. He was sleeping in this morning. I'm not sure what's going on with him.
Maybe she drinks
Aw.
ointment, but she can at least be good for carrying
Yep.
the keg.
So, yep, you are able to find Luster, who seems a little lethargic this morning, but you kind of get him up and have to like put him up
Come on,
on
man.
your shoulders. But when you get outside, he kind of livens up a bit.
It's
So
okay,
you all
buddy.
meet outside the gates of Zadash, where you get your horses and your cart all ready. And as Leo is attaching the horses to the cart, Luster jumps off of Maeve's shoulder and runs up to the other side. And suddenly, standing next to the first horse that gets attached, there is a bright blue and purple aura that lasts for just a moment, and then standing in place next to the horse like it's waiting for you to hook him up as well, you see a full-sized Drake of Luster
Oh.
standing there.
Luster went through a growth spurt. That's why he was so tired, Maeve.
What just happened?
Luster.
Are
And
those wings?
Celtic is standing next to where she should have been and is now like snorting and like stamping the ground because Luster's taking her spot.
Buddy, what's
Luster,
going on
you
here?
look so cool.
I mean, yeah.
The stable boy goes, "What kind of horse is that?"
A winged one, boy.
long scaly tail. Let's maybe get out to the field and get some more room.
Well, maybe we can upgrade the cart if he wants to help the other two horses.
Luster
I-
kind of like puffs up his chest and raises his head up like, "I can do it myself. Don't need no dumb horses to help me."
He seems to be very independent about this.
I mean, I at least want to keep one horse. Celtic really loves Rosalind. I know she does.
Luster
Roz,
hangs his head and walks away from the cart and comes up towards Maeve and poofs back down to small size and jumps up on her shoulders.
Oh,
Okay.
that's cool. I wish I could do that.
All right, buddy. Hey, how about we go next to the cart? What do you think, hon?
He jumps down and poofs back up.
Okay. She's gonna kind of situate herself. All right, this works.
Can he fly at this level as well?
Yes, I can't fly with him, but he can
Okay,
fly.
he can fly on his own. Gotcha. All
Yes, yes. So
right.
if
Okay.
he wants to experiment that, I figured let's get out of the town first.
All right. So with that, oh, I lost my notes again. Where'd I go? You all finally begin to depart Zadash, heading out onto the Amber Roads and heading south now. As you leave the city of Zadash behind you, it seems to watch your departure with neutral regard. And yet the towering reach of the Tri-Spires can't take their gaze off of you. Whenever you look back over your shoulder, checking the road behind you, you can still see the lips of those, or the tips of those massive structures slowly dipping below the horizon. The next 4 journeys day to Allfield are mostly quiet and peaceful. A welcome change for most of your travel that has had at least a bit of drama interspersed here and there. The southern ends of the Marrow Valley are open fields and rolling hills. A fair breeze and clear weather keeps your minds open and your hearts light, or as much as that will allow, given recent events. Now, we're not going to go through and play through every single day and do a watch every single night, but if there is anything over these next few days that you would like to do, you can. So, your first day of travel is only about half as much. Who would like to use, if anyone, the Sending Stone today?
Maeve will just look on and be like, "Who wants it? I've used it a bunch of times. Who needs it?"
I'll wait until no one else needs it because there's a very good chance that my message will not be able to get through.
That's okay. Who wants it?
I don't know if I want to use it because on the off chance that it doesn't work, I don't want to be emotionally like devastated.
And I don't want to use it right now because if I message Triv or Lesna, they're gonna think I'm needy. So
That's true. That's reasonable. That's the most reasonable reason said so far.
It's
I
not
think
a-
my reason is reasonable too.
Leaf says, "It seems as though Rosalind and Mother Maeve, you are the only two that would like to use it today."
Roz?
Yeah, sure. I'll give it a go.
Perfect.
Why not?
Give me some space from that sending stone. All right.
What did the
Yeah.
sending stone do to you?
Just only being able to use it once per day is really hard. Okay.
Oh. Well, that's not a reason to be angry at it. I mean, if anything, you'd want to be closer to it.
I don't
Wow.
think it works that way. Just don't worry about it. Just trying to reach back home, and it's been awkward.
Oh, your parents?
Yes, my mother.
I know that game.
Ironically, we are going backwards on my journey right now to when you guys first met me. So, but I'm not going to say that to her because she'll just tell me to go home. So,
Ah, well, I definitely understand that.
but
Yeah, if
that's-
you see any other Eladrin around as we get close to the coast, yeah, like, I'm not Hermia, call me, something else.
It's fine. We will figure it out. But either way, I think I need a day away from this thing, lest I be tempted to make more silly mistakes.
Planning out your message, Roz?
Yeah.
You should have seen the crumpled paper.
Raz,
yeah.
you should use it. I mean, I know, do I know that, like, there's, like, a chance sending, high chance that sending
Make
won't
an
work on different
Arcana
planes?
check.
Okay.
Yeah. So Roz does take the sending stone and glances around at everybody, blushing a little bit.
Oh, we can give you space if you want.
Nah,
I was able to do it privately.
I mean,
she focuses the person in her mind. She thinks about Mira. Hey, Cat Scratch. Hope this reaches you, and if it does, I'm safe, and I'll find a way home when I can. I love you.
You wait. And wait. No response.
I got a 17 plus 5.
Yes, you know that if the target of the message is on a different plane of existence, there is a small chance it will fail.
I thought, like,
However-
it's a small chance it would work.
No, it's a
No,
small
it's a
chance
small
it'll
chance to
fail. However, I will also say that you're not sure what the difference is in sending to another plane and sending to another timeline or whatever
String theory?
where Roz is from is, because it's not, because she's also from a prime material plane, so it's not just like oh, what's the difference between if somebody was in, the Nine Hells or in the Abyss, right? This is different, and you're not sure if it can penetrate that or not.
Yeah.
So I
will
also
tell-
don't think that you know if it necessarily fails, but you don't get anything back. So
Yeah, so I will tell Roz that, that message gets wonky if you try to do it, like, if you're on one plane and the person's on the other plane. And I can't imagine how weird it, like, how crazy it could get, like, if you think about, other worlds.
Yeah.
Roz
So I
offers
wouldn't be too disheartened.
She offers a half smile and hands the stone back to Maeve.
Well, I'm glad you were able to try. If you ever want to try again, it's not a problem.
She nods.
So, on your first night, Hermia, at some point you are up on watch with someone. You can go ahead and pick who you think you'd be up on watch with.
Probably Roz.
Okay, so you and Roz are...
Roz was and on this whole trip, by the way, she's working on repairing the dagger that Triv gave her.
You got it. So at some point on this trip, you and Roz are on watch. And it's been a pretty uneventful night. Until you hear something, Hermia.
Oh.
You sense a presence. Hermia Astoria, daughter of Theron in Cordelia.
Is this
And
out
you-
loud or just like in my head?
So you hear this, and you turn to look and see the Plague of Eyes walking towards you. Sister to the late Leander Astoria of the Wildborn. You glance over to Roz, who doesn't seem to hear it. I've been watching you and your band of merry little adventurers, and to be honest, I wasn't quite sure what they saw in you, but it's slowly starting to become clear. He kneels down right in front of you so that you're eye level. They have a fascination with the weak and broken, the frail and discarded, the feeble and defective. He looks to Roz. And you, a noble with no sense of nobility, no loyalty to your familiar bonds. You don't even have what it takes to be a hero like you so desperately want. But you know that, don't you? All that makes you special, Hermia, is given to you through that vestige.
If you're trying to like hurt my feelings or like, you know, emotionally scar me, you're gonna have to try harder, because I've heard worse things from my mom on Sunday morning.
Roz, you turn and notice that Hermia's probably talking to her sword, so it's not that big a deal.
Yeah, she like looks up for a moment like, oh god, they're arguing again.
I admit, you've become a bit of an increasing thorn in my side. Like an insect that you can't quite swat. Annoying, but no real danger. The other nice thing about insects is their short lifespan. Happy travels, Lady Astoria. And he fades away out of your view.
Goodbye. That was weird.
Do you mention it to Roz or anyone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, Roz,
Is everything okay with Foyer?
Fulmir, are you okay? Did you hear that?
Oh, you weren't talking to the sword?
Hear what? I just thought you were talking to yourself again.
Harriet just face palms. Okay, so you know how some of the others have like said they had like dreams or seen visions of the Plague Eyes?
Yes.
Oh, he was just here, and he was trying to insult me or hurt my feelings, and it didn't really work because, you know, I'm used to it.
Roz gives you a look that you have seen her give you frequently that says, I don't know if I should be upset or hug you.
I mean, upset at me?
No. Upset with
Oh.
the general existence of life that has done this to you.
I mean, we're dealt the hand we're dealt, I guess. Can't really be too
Woof.
mad about it.
Fair enough, I suppose. I
I
can't
mean-
believe you get to say this to an orphan and make the orphan feel bad.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I mean, the good news is that you were adopted and your family wanted you. I mean, I was born
Oh.
into a family that didn't want me, aside from my brother.
On a happier note, tell me about the Plague of Eyes.
Okay, well, yeah, all he did was try to hurt my feelings and call me
Yeah.
an insect and.
So
you know,
she
gonna
recounts
die.
to you exactly what was said, and it sounds a lot like what, you know, he had mentioned to Leo, and it seems as though he's probably just trying to play mind games with you.
Yeah.
As
Yeah,
Um,
like I
it's-
said, it wasn't a whole lot of like new info. It's like you think I'm a loser. What else is new?
Did he mention the thing about taking pieces off the board again?
Yeah, I have I'm an insect and I'm gonna die soon, but I mean.
That's not what I asked, but okay.
Isn't that the same thing? Taking pieces off the board, killing?
No, but my thing was he said that to Leo, and then one of our allies back home turned up, well, not dead, but almost.
Oh, why'd you have to say that?
Because it happened!
I'm fine with me, being threatened, but I don't need to worry about other people.
Who are you, me?
I mean,
Uh,
I don't know.
oh my gosh. Okay, alright, so, but he didn't hurt you in any way, right?
No, but now that you mention it, he might have just threatened my brother.
Yes, I suppose he would have.
Hermia's going to try to tap into that connection that she has with Leander. I don't know if I need to roll something.
Yeah, roll a d20 for me.
Okay. Uh, 13.
You don't sense anything.
Is it like it was too loud before, or just quiet?
It's just quiet.
Oh no.
Hermia?
Roz?
What?
You know how I told you that I have a connection with my brother? I just know that he's somewhere, and that he's okay?
Yeah.
I don't feel it anymore.
There have been other times where it's been quiet, so you're not necessarily sure how to take this.
Elaborate, because Hermia generally feels like her brother is okay, not necessarily he's she'll be able to pinpoint.
Yeah,
oh, he's over there.
this is an absence of that, because you've also in the past, when you've known each other, when you got lost in the city and he was able to find you, you can tell when you're in trouble or if you're okay. This is just an absence of it.
Okay, well, that's never happened before.
I would say that since...
Okay, I'll elaborate.
No,
so
hold
it
on.
hasn't happened before, in a sense that the only other time it's happened, he's purposely kind of shut himself off from me.
Right. I'm going to let you know. Since being on the prime material plane, it's happened a few times.
When?
It doesn't last long. I mean, I think you've only been here for 2 or 3 months. I would have to consult the timeline specifically. But there's been a few times where you've tried to reach out and there's just been nothing.
Okay, well, that goes against what I've said in previous sessions, but okay.
Well, my apologies.
Well, never mind then. I don't say anything.
Okay. But she'll think for a moment. All right. Well, I think you actually handled that perfectly then. This plague of eyes is choosing to reach out to us, and that
Intimidate us?
Well, yes. That is indicative of weakness. If he was so certain, and if he was so in control of it as he claims to be, he would have no reason to talk to us.
Yeah, he would just kill us.
Correct.
Makes sense.
And while he has tried, he has now failed on numerous occasions.
What a loser.
Roz grins. What a loser indeed.
So, as the two of you carry on, the night goes by without incident, and you come into the second day. Who would like to use the sending stone during the second day? I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to use the sending stone if you don't want to.
Well,
Call your
Hermia
boyfriend.
just looks at Maeve. Hey, I'd rather not know the answer to my query, so
it's fine. I'm just gonna. I'll use it during a watch and have a chat.
Just stay out of the cart. Hermia has a cow.
It's not gonna be like that. Just Want to get some updates, see how he's doing. Last I heard, he was gonna be in somewhere dangerous. So.
All right. So
I'll
you're gonna
just-
wait till later that night and basically ask him to come over.
Yeah.
Hey,
God, that
Kaylin.
sounds so weird.
Hey, Kaylin, my party's asleep. You can come
You up?
over.
You
Yeah,
up?
you up?
You went for not Netflix. What would it be?
On my way.
I'm
Fireside
busy.
chat and chill.
Love it. No, she'll
What's the D&D equivalent of a booty call?
Oh God. Yeah. No, she'll send a message and basically say, I'm just up for watch if you're not busy. No, but then very quickly is like, no pressure.
So let me ask you
Scream
this.
that?
Let me ask you
No.
this.
No.
Do you volunteer to stay up on watch by yourself, or who else would be awake during this time?
I mean, I don't think she'd want to do it by herself just because
Sure.
she feels like that
You'd
would
be distracted.
Yes.
Okay.
I think she has some wherewithal to be like, that's probably a bad idea.
All right, so who is up on watch with you? You can still go find privacy somewhere, but
Yeah.
just
yeah,
out of
that's fine.
curiosity.
I'm not sure. Should I pick Leaf to make this easier?
I mean, Leaf would definitely make fun of you though, like if he was
You
actually like here.
I don't know. Well, I mean, Chris would find a way to make fun of her as Leaf, but Leaf wouldn't be making fun of her in his eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say Leaf insofar as he also has the best eyes of the group.
Fair enough. All right.
So, I am
you and Leaf,
distracted.
yes, you and Leaf are up on watch as you send your
Yeah.
message, and you hear back. Yes, I'm free. Give me a few moments. And as you are sitting and watching, eventually, apparating just beside the fire, you see Kaylin. Greetings, Maeve, and it's nice to see you again, Leaf. Greetings, friend Kaylin. Don't worry, I will not be watching. I am going
Well-
to stay on watch. And he turns around.
Thank you, Leaf. Kind of gives Kale a strange smile. Sorry, I just figured we didn't get a chance to catch up as much last time, so.
You notice now, as well, that he seems to have sustained some injuries. He has a few scars and cuts on his face. You see, at least in the darkness, what you think may be a burn down the side of his neck. And he comes and kind of sits down next to you.
What happened?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to seek the proper healing yet. I told you that we would be in Bazuzan for a while. Raven and I and those that we are with have had helped repel a few incursions from the former temple of Avandra that was corrupted. Bazuzan is a dark place.
What did you face there?
Oh, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary for here, at least. I'm not sure what you know of Bazuzan, but during the calamity back in the Age of Arcanum, it used to be a temple to Avandra, the Changebringer. But when the gods waged war with one another, the Betrayer gods took it as their seat of power. They corrupted the temple, opened various doorways into the abyss to funnel out their own troops, and even now, centuries later, they still have not been able to find a way to seal it or fix it in any way. So those that stay here, it's a terrifying place to imagine, let alone live in. But still, They do. Their Aurora Watch put their lives on the line every second of the day. There's no rest for them, and for most of Bazzoxan, it's not a matter of if they'll perish, but when. And that thought would probably break most. But if not for them, the demons of Bazzoxan would roam free, so they give their lives to protect others. An admirable, albeit cliche trope for soldiers, but what of the civilians who make their lives here to support them as well? Most of them are unable to defend themselves when shambling mounds crawl out of the ground just as... I don't know, they're just as heroic in my eyes.
They have to grow up to be brave quite quickly.
If they get a chance to grow up. The citizens of Bazzoxan actually, they have a memorial here. They call it the Wall of the Unforgotten. And it's a tradition, should someone lose their life, to leave something at that wall in memory. But as is often the case here, not everyone has someone to do so. So as a result, it's common practice to leave something there for yourself in anticipation of your inevitable demise. Somehow the barbed fields have found a new way to make a death even more tragic.
Indeed.
But you shouldn't worry, we'll actually be leaving Bazzoxan soon. We're actually heading south to the Eothia Moorlands. Much more hospitable place than the barbed fields, I assure you. Not by much, but there are two nomadic tribes that call it home, so I'm looking forward to it.
What do you expect to find there?
I don't know, but that's the beauty and the excitement of it. But
Fair enough.
enough about what I've been doing in this terrible nightmare of a land. What about you, Maeve? How have you been holding up? I know that you consider yourself a bit of a anchor for the rest of your group, so you probably don't often get a chance to talk about what's on your mind.
She kind of stares down at her hands at that, frowning. Well, a lot has happened. I think last we had talked, we had just gotten through from our myriad herding. Then we had Roz lost her magic for a while. And then we had to do another job for someone that was like the myriad. And then we found someone only to lose them. And then we lost Kieran. I forgot to mention that happened before.
Lost how? What happened with Kieran?
After some of the situations that happened with the myriad and other things, they decided they needed to go on, I think, their own path.
Okay, so they're not
dead. Sorry, it's been a lot. No, as far as we know, they're alive. We just don't know what they're doing. Hopefully when they're ready, I believe they will be fine. They've been self-sufficient all this time, and hopefully when they are ready to return, they will.
Well, speaking of Roz's condition,
yes.
I don't have anything to report, but I just didn't want you to think that I'm sure that she'll ask about it. So I'm working on it.
Don't even worry about it. We appreciate you even looking into any of this at all.
You haven't answered my question, though.
She thinks for a moment and kind of grits her teeth.
Luster comes in from behind you, kind of like through your arm, and like where your side is, kind of like pushes his head into your hands.
Hi, buddy. You ever seen a play? You know, the actors, the set pieces.
No, Maeve. As a bard, the one thing that has eluded me for all of my career, despite the fact that my mother worked in a theater and I grew up there, I have never actually seen a play. The truest tragedy, if ever I have spoke.
That really would be. Well, anyway, since you sincerely don't know,
Please
a play.
enlighten me.
all you need to know is, I, plays would be put on with my people every once in a while, some festival or other. And obviously, I was not going to be one of the actors, but I helped with.
Why not?
Not really my thing. Much
Have you
shyer
tried
back
it?
then. Oh, goodness, no.
Well, then how
but-
do you know? Did you
Well,
know
I
you
s-
would be as proficient with a bow and arrow before you picked one up?
Well, auditions did not go in my favor. They put me with one of the set pieces.
So you have
that is-
auditioned then.
Yes, but I mean that was the one time I didn't.
Did you
go-
hit the target the first time you picked up your bow?
No, but that's not my point.
Practice.
Yes, who am I going to practice doing theater with?
Leaf. Yes, friend Kalen. Never mind. Back to watch.
My point is, I was very key player in a magnificent set piece. It was a tree, I believe, beautifully painted. And if you've seen a set piece, of course, it looks beautiful from the outside, and the back is all scaffolding and rough wood and someone behind it trying to keep it still. And I was told, whatever you do, make sure that nobody runs into this and it tips over. And I was really good at that. Between my strength of will and no scaffolding, I was gonna keep it still. But one time, I leaned against it a little too much, and it went right down. I live in a world of scaffolding. I see all the posts, all the angles that just hold everything up. I know where to strike that would send the whole thing flying down. And that means that any time pieces start to break, I have to hold it up. There's no time to panic when everyone else is panicking. There's no time to heal when everyone is hurting. I don't think I'm very good at fixing it. I just know how to hold it still until someone comes along, hammer and nails to keep it up there.
I have a
And-
confession to make, Maeve.
What?
I have actually been in a play before, so I do know a few things about theater as well. And while you have the actors and you have the technicians as well, you also have those who put the whole thing together. They also see the scaffolding and the weaknesses and what needs to be fixed and reinforced and watched after. But they don't do it all themselves. They ask for help. They ask their friends. They ask the other technicians. So he reaches his hand out to touch yours, but it kind of just, goes through as he's not real. So maybe look at asking your friends for help and stop trying to keep all of this inside and to deal with it on your own.
It's scary to feel like being the only person in the scaffolding. Because
Yes, it does.
if I fall, who's gonna keep it up?
That's why you need to ask people to help you, so when you fall, they can catch you the same way that you're waiting to catch them. You watch as his attention is suddenly drawn away.
Mm.
Yes, I'm talking to Maeve again.
Mm.
Give me a few
Someone-
moments. Yes, one of my companions. We're setting out a bit early. It's sometimes safer to travel under the guise of complete darkness, at least here. The Dynasty, I don't know how they do it, but there's no sunlight. They keep the majority of at least Bazozan and Rosanna covered in darkness and nightfall. Except for a few times during, I'm not sure when, but they have specific holidays, I suppose, where they allow the sunlight to shine through. Strange custom, but I suppose when their people lived underground for as long as they did.
Another people that lived underground? I
The
hadn't...
Drow,
Oh.
even before the Pallid Elves were driven underground, the Drow were under the rule of Lolth, the Spider Queen, for
Mm.
too long. Some of them still are, but the Kryn were able to free themselves of her during the calamity and come above ground and now use their magic to, I guess, keep it feeling like home.
Interesting. I never asked the generations before me if they missed that. It was just as soon as I was born under moonlight, that was all I ever knew.
Well, I think it may be different, as even your people weren't always that way. They started above ground and yearned to return.
True.
I'm sorry to cut this short, but
No, of course, we've got things to do. Don't worry about that. Thank you, though.
send me a message whenever, and if I have the free time and spells for it, I will always make time for you, Maeve.
Thank you. Maybe I'll audition for a play next time.
Let me know. I would love to see.
Be safe.
You as well. And he vanishes. Leaf turns to you. Maeve, I
What?
could help you practice your theater.
Thank you, Leaf. I don't know where I'm going to audition.
I could
for-
also make a tree that is real so you wouldn't have to hold it up.
You know what? That is appreciative. If I ever make a play, I will just ask you to do the set design. I think you would do a much better job than I did.
And with that, the rest of the night passes uneventfully.
God, what do you guys write?
The next day comes, and you continue your journey towards Allfield. Who would like to use the stone today?
Someone take it from my hand.
I don't have anybody to sext, so
It's
I
not about
don't know.
sexting.
Yeah, Zana goes, I also don't really have anyone that I would send a message to, so it's all yours.
Oh my god.
Wait, what about that Pallet Elf you banged a couple nights ago? Don't you want to?
Oh, you want to talk to Carrie?
We both got what we needed out of that.
For sure.
Oh,
Roz laughs.
That's just how Carrie is. There's nothing wrong with that. No, I need to send a message to my mother. Don't make me do this.
Hey, could we use it to prank call the Plague of Eyes?
You could certainly try.
You can do that.
You want to try?
I'll egg her on. Yeah, I'll egg Ross want to do it.
Come on, Roz.
He's been calling us. You call him.
Actually, wait. Hermia wants to have a conversation at some point with Roz about the sending stone.
Sure, go ahead if you'd like to. Did you want it to be private?
Yeah, like she's okay with like joking about it, but actually like coming clean about her feelings.
Okay, so we'll say that at one point during the trip, you pull Roz out of the cart and you two kind of like lag back like a good 20, 30 feet, and go ahead.
So I know I should be bothered, about what the Plague of Ice said, and in a way I'm not. Like I said, I'm used to the insults and the mind games. But he got me worried because he referred to Leander as like the recently departed, and when I tried to reach out to him that night, like I couldn't do it, and I know if I use a stone, like there's a good chance like I'll know whether or not he's alive or not, but I'm afraid that I'm afraid to know.
Yeah, I get that. As much as I wanted to try and reach out to Mira, I didn't think it would work, and it was nice to kind of hang on to the thought that maybe it would work, and now that's gone.
I mean, but yours is different because she's in another world, and
It is. My point is to say, like, you have chosen not to use it so far because you don't want to find out what you might already know or not know. And the truth of it is, Hermia, I mean, I've got people in my family who can't be reached via Sending Stone because they wear armor that protects them from that keeps magic from reaching them from a distance. He could well be wearing that. He could be on a different plane for a moment. Maybe he had to dip down to the abyss for a minute. I don't know.
So,
But-
just a quick clarification here. Sending is an evocation spell, not divination. So you can still attempt to send messages to someone who protects themselves with divination.
Oh, so you're trying to make me feel worse.
I'm just saying.
My point is to say that if it doesn't work, don't lose hope. You're doing this because you believe he's out there. I do too.
I don't know what I should do still.
The worst
What would
case,
you do?
Well, you already saw what I would do.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good
I-
point.
The worst case
I-
scenario is you're exactly where you are now. You
I
don't
think
know
I-
if he's out there or not.
Okay, I think I'm gonna try, but can you like be there? I don't want anybody else. Well, maybe Maeve is okay, but I don't want everybody else to feel left out if I have like some people, like a group of people like there and not the other people. So we'll just have it be you.
Hermia, all of a sudden Roz pulls you into a hug.
Oh. Ah. She hugs you back.
And then she releases you. I'll be there.
Okay. I think I could do this. I think I could do it.
Okay.
So are you
Okay.
going to use the sending stone then, Hermia?
Yeah.
All
There
right.
you go.
And I'll kind of go somewhere private with Roz.
Mm-hmm.
Before I use it, how do I use it?
You
Do
asking
I
me?
just like think? No, I'm asking Roz.
Okay.
No,
Do I just
focus
think?
on the person you want the message to go to and speak 25 words or less.
Oh God. I mean, do I have to use the full 25? Like, I mean, what if I
No.
can get 25 words to say?
She believes like I only used 24 words because I wasn't sure if it would count cat scratch as 1 or 2 words. So yeah, give yourself a couple extras because I don't really know how conjunctions work with all that. So yeah, always give yourself some breathing room.
Good point. Okay.
Just say what you want to say to him.
Okay, yeah. I won't focus on the word count because then I'll just spend the whole time like, just going and yeah, I don't want to waste words. Okay. So Hermia's gonna take the stone and really focus on Leander and also focus on like the innate connection that they have. And we'll be like, Haley, it's Hermia. I know you're out there, and just know that I'm looking for you. And I hope you're looking for me too.
Okay. Immediately as you finish that, you hear your own voice and message kind of echo back to you in your head.
I think it's broken.
I hope not. Otherwise, we're gonna have to have word with Pumat.
Okay, so when you used it, it didn't work. You didn't hear anything, right?
Right.
Okay, well I just used it, and I like heard like an echo.
An echo?
Like I know, like I have like an internal like dialogue that like I talk about my day to myself, like oh I'm such a loser, but no, it was like an echo. Like
you hear your sword go, oh.
it was like
Well,
it was like just like like I it's like a replay of what I just said.
yeah. Okay. Well, if you didn't just hear dead silence, it worked.
Well, okay, but why would I hear my own message to myself, or not to myself, but to my brother?
we should, if there's a magic shop in Allfield or Trostonwall, we should ask. Why would that happen?
Maybe tomorrow I can ask Pumon.
Well, well, you could sending stone to Pumat. That's true. That is true. Yep. Okay. Yeah. I mean, or maybe he's here somehow.
What does that mean?
Well, I mean, I just
Oh
was
my
thinking, like,
God!
if I sent a message to Light,
Dude,
would I hear
I
it in
just
my
thought
head?
something. What if Fulmir really did eat him, and he's like
I
in the
didn't
sword?
eat your brother.
Okay, but you're the last person to like have seen him.
Then why didn't I hear the message?
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better, but also I'm still confused.
I mean, maybe, like I say, if I sent a message to Light, would I hear it in my head? I don't know.
You could always test that theory as well.
Oh, that's
Oh.
that's right. We should test it.
That's what I just...
Okay, but she can't hear you, so I had to say it out loud again.
No, sorry. That was Light talking to Roz.
Oh, got it.
Oh, I thought that was
well,
so-
yeah, except
Too many
we all-
people have voices in their heads in this campaign!
Well, maybe, except I.
When can I get my psychosis?
Yeah, I can't send messages to people on your plane, apparently.
I
Well,
mean,
again, maybe it's different because I'm in
In
your
your
head. I don't know.
I could try. Well, like I said, I don't know how you would know it's any different. You just hear me anyway.
but you would hear the message.
Oh, that's true. Okay,
Like it's like I mean, you know,
We'll try- I'll
it's
try
like an
tomorrow.
echo.
I'll try tomorrow. And we'll see how
Okay.
that goes.
Okay. Well, that was weird. I don't know
Yeah,
how to
that
feel
was
about
weird.
that, but okay. You want to go? I mean, is it time? What time of the
Yeah,
day
so
is it?
as you guys turn to look, the wagon is like a good, probably like 300 yards away now, so you gotta
Oop.
gotta jog to catch up to him now.
Shouldn't have worn my armor.
Everything okay?
Yeah. I don't know if I broke the stone or not, but we're gonna try an experiment tomorrow to see if it's true or not.
I was about to look like, what do you mean the stone might be broken?
Yeah,
Fire in
something
the
weird
back
happened,
of
but-
Maeve's eyes. What did you do, Hermia?
I just tried to use it, and it had a
I
weird,
told you this
interesting
stone was for
effect.
emergency calls only.
Means,
boy.
like, I tried to use the stone, you know, exactly the way that Roz and you have used it.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, so Roz, when she used it, she didn't hear anything.
Right, yeah.
Me, when I used it, I just heard an echo of what I said back to me,
An echo.
Mhm.
like a
You-
replay. Like it wasn't like. you know,
Hermia,
me
I'm gonna
thinking
ask
it.
you a really dumb question. Please don't get mad at me.
Okay.
Did you think of sending a message to yourself?
I mean, that's a fair question, but no, I was just thinking about my brother.
Interesting.
That was my first
We're gonna-
instinct too, but no, I made sure that was the only thing I was thinking about was my brother.
We're gonna do some science tomorrow, and I'm gonna try and send a message to Light and see what happens.
Very well. That's fine. That's fine. Absolutely fine. Anyone can use it.
Yeah, I don't suppose you. I mean, you're about as educated as Arcana as I am. Like, I don't suppose you've heard of a phenomena like that.
Would I have?
Nope.
Probably. I
Nope.
think so. I'm afraid not. I certainly would. The only thing, like I said, I was thinking of is if you accidentally sent it to yourself, but otherwise it would have to be attached somehow, attached to that connection. But I suppose
Maybe-
trying it with light is as good as any try.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, I was gonna send a message to Pumat, see if he might know.
That's fair. Damn, these things are once a day.
I know.
It's fine though.
Although if like it was more than once a day, like I feel like I would probably abuse it and just send random messages to people, and they'd probably be like, "Oh my God, shut up."
Yeah, that's true. I feel like I would just be stuck on the sending stone all day with my mother, and that's probably would not be a good use of our time.
No, that doesn't seem like a fun thing to be doing.
No.
Could be a business opportunity for like newspapers though, like
I mean, I
instant
guess.
messaged.
But that just sounds like
news.
work, and I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Save me a lot of time from reading newspapers in the morning.
Yeah. Can you imagine a device that could instantly send messages to anybody you want all over the world? Crazy.
I feel
Just
like
crazy.
I'd be too like anxious and awkward about what to say that I wouldn't like use it.
I
Even
could
though
see
it's
that.
like, yeah.
Sharon would have a good name for this.
So
would
the
not.
rest of the day passes by uneventfully. Maeve, you had mentioned maybe wanting to talk to Zana at some point?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we'll say the two of you this night stay up on watch together.
Okay. Shit. Where was my thing?
Maeve starts flipping through various notes. What do we want to talk about?
Come to Jesus, come to Jesus. No, Zana.
Well, the problem is, like, I was like, Zana, what am I going to talk to you about? So, oh, that's right. So, feel like you and I haven't, caught up since, when we talked about my family.
Mm-hmm.
I, wasn't sure if, meeting other people like me who had also left may have, I don't know, brought some clarity, maybe?
She kind of narrows her eyes a bit. You sure this is a conversation you want to have?
Why wouldn't I?
You ran away from home, Maeve. The rest of them rove out in search of something.
I am out in search of something too.
That's what you tell yourself.
Is this a conversation where you think I'm lying to myself?
What do you think?
I think that there could be multiple truths, but I do still hold that when I left, I wanted to know what this was. Yes, did it happen to me leaving home, away from something I felt I was terrible at? Sure, but I don't think it's that simple.
Let's do a little thought experiment.
Very well.
We save the world. You find your
Mhm.
sister. All is well. Do you go home and take over the Ashfall clan?
If I find my sister, I won't have to,
What makes you say that?
because she's the one that should be in charge.
Should be does not equal is.
If she's
All right, you don't
She's
find your
kinda-
sister then. Do you go home and take over the Ashfall clan?
If that is what is best, then perhaps. I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this.
And that's
I
why you're
think-
running.
Okay. Why does it, if I am truly running away, let's go with that thought experiment for a moment. Why does that bother you so much?
When you grow up with something, you often take it for granted. I know the pain of not having what a lot of other people do. And when you see people squander those things, it can irritate you. Especially when you're being forced to watch what they are giving up. It doesn't happen as much now that I'm with all of you, but when I was watching lives that I had only dreamed of, night after night after night, it can irritate you.
I'm sorry that you're experiencing that. That sounds awful.
Like I said, it doesn't happen as often anymore, so it's fine.
Mm.
Not sure if actually having to deal with you is any less irritating.
Fair enough. She kind of thinks for a moment. I suppose my life is the only life I've ever known. And I can't say whether I'm squandering what I had or taking it for granted. But I also can't say that were someone in my shoes, and with my experiences, I'm not sure if they would have made a different decision than I did.
Maybe, maybe not.
It doesn't feel... how to say this? It doesn't feel good when it feels like no one believes in you in a role you've been forced into.
Why would they have put you into that role if they didn't believe in you?
Because they had no choice.
Everyone has a choice.
Well, that's what my family would have said. That is what I was told. If not me, who else? Whether that's true or not, that is not what I was told.
I spent a very exorbitant amount of time learning how to read people. And while I've maybe only seen a few of your memories, I never got the impression that your father didn't believe in you. In fact, there's quite a bit of... She pauses and hesitates for a moment. There are some similarities between your father and someone that I know. And I think that maybe his expectations for you were just more than you cared to admit to yourself.
She kind of peers at... Go ahead, sorry.
I think that maybe it's more a matter of you were afraid of disappointing him.
I was very afraid of that. I felt it constantly. Felt constantly I was disappointing him. Every day.
He ever tell you that?
He would tell me everything I did wrong.
Did he ever say, Timavra, you're a disappointment?
Not in those words. I don't know, perhaps, if he was always disappointed, that's true, but I wouldn't say he necessarily made me feel that I knew what I was doing.
When we point out the flaws in others, it's not always to cause them harm, but to show them what they can improve.
Fair, but she kind of looks at her for a second. The person you said he reminded you of, is that Mr. Black?
I think this conversation is over. I believe there's a stream nearby. If you don't mind, I'm going to go refresh myself. And she stands up and walks off.
Oops. I hit a nerve.
About 15 minutes later, you hear Zana in your head. Come north to the stream. Bring Hermia.
Okay. I will go to Hermia and nudge her.
Hermia's out cold.
But Hermia. She's gonna try to wake you.
Go away.
Hermia, Zana wants to talk to us.
At night?
Yes, at night. I'm sorry. I know. I'm the worst. I'm sorry.
If it were anyone else, Maeve, I would just ignore you. But I'll get up.
Thank you. I'm sorry. This is not like her, so I don't want to.
If she just
make her
is
angry.
waking me up just to like berate me, next time she's just gonna have to wait until the morning, okay? Like everybody else.
If that's what she does, I will berate her back.
Okay, deal.
All right, let's go.
All right, so as you're walking away, we'll say that Leaf has already been through his watch, so he's like, don't worry, I will watch Roz and Leaf, or Leo, in a non-creepy way.
Thank you, Leaf.
So you guys walk about 5 minutes.
Was he watching me when I was sleeping?
Not in a
Yes,
creepy way,
everyone.
Hermia.
Oh, okay.
You walk about 5 minutes off the sort of main path and off the encampment until you eventually find Zana's belongings in a pile on a log. And then about 30 feet off of that, in a very slow-moving creek, obscured mostly by darkness, shadows, and just a bit of moonlight breaking through the treetops, you find her in the creek.
All right.
Just in the creek? Doing
Yeah.
In
what?
what form?
We're skinny dipping.
In Mira's form still.
Okay. Checking.
Like, I mean, is she like sitting in the creek?
Yeah.
Is she just standing in the creek? Does
sitting.
she have her clothes on?
Sitting
no clothes on.
and no, her clothes, I just told you her clothes were on a log.
Hermia gets
Ah.
ready to turn around.
Hermia.
No. Come on. The water's freezing. But we're going to
Is that supposed to entice me?
we're going to have a conversation about disappointed parents. I thought you would have a lot to add to the conversation.
I mean, it's just a fact of life. We disappoint our parents some more than others.
Oh boy.
You don't
All
have
right.
to get in if you don't want to.
I
Alright.
mean,
But I will tell you this. You don't smell much better than the horses at this point.
Hermia will cast and like take off her clothes, but immediately cast invisibility on herself.
It's dark out.
Don't care. Hermia does not like to be seen without her clothes on.
That's fine.
Fair enough. An invisible Hermia dips down into the freezing cold water.
I'll be in the cold water, not invisible.
Yes, Maeve, Zenithal was the one.
Mm. I see. And, did you feel that you disappointed him?
Often. He had high expectations for me, which he made known to me. I didn't always fall short, but sometimes I did. And I took that as a lesson and improved myself.
I see. She kind of grimaces a bit as if trying to figure out if she should say this next statement or not. I've only had one vision of you, Sana. Did I tell you what that was?
You have not?
You were a child. There was another man there, forcing you to do these knife throwing exercises. It's been a while, so I may have forgotten the full context. And then Mr. Black came in.
Instructor Ornwell.
Hmm.
I remember him.
He,
Zenithal is the only family that I've ever had. And even the instructors from over the year never stayed long. Instructor Ornwell in particular, very few were up to Zenithal's standards. But if you're going to
see.
extol the inquiry of raising a child to be a soldier, you can keep that to yourself. What's done is done, but I'm better and stronger for it.
That's fine. So do you feel being raised by Sinishol was... I mean, if you could change and if you had a weird magical gift to change that, would you have chosen him to raise you?
If I could have chose to be raised or adopted, we'll say, by a family of heroes like Roz and have the choice be my own, would that have been preferable? Of course. Would being raised by a family of nobles with wealth and privilege all around me like Hermia, would that have been preferential? Absolutely. If I could have chose to stay where I would have been without Zenithal, grow up on the streets like Kieran, would I have? No. I've influenced national policy, Maeve. I've saved thousands of life in doing so. If it wasn't for Zenithal, I probably would have grown up on the streets, and that's a best-case scenario. I can't change who I am or what happened.
That's fine. I guess.
Also, trauma shouldn't never be a competition, Zana. I mean, there's all kinds of abuse. Is being abused better than living on the street? I mean, you could argue that, yeah, it is. But, I mean, it should never be about who's been more abused.
I'm not trying to make it a competition about who's more abused. My point is that with what I'm able to do, if I didn't want to stay with him and go through the training that I did, I could have left. But I'm stronger for it. People in the Empire are better off because of me. I'm not a victim.
Okay. I don't understand how I am involved in this, but good for you.
I guess I wasn't sure where the conversation was going to go when Maeve brought it up, but...
I guess the reason I am confused, Anna, and you don't have to answer this, but the reason I ask that is because you feel that both of us really squandered what we have. Fair. I thought... I can't... If I'm going... I gotta be blunt with you, Zana. And I'm sorry if this is not good to say, but I thought you were upset because we squandered with what we were born into. But you're saying that you feel that you're glad with what you have with Zenithal, and that you are making your choice to do the things with him, which is fine. Therefore, why does it bother you or annoy you, like you said, when we make our choices with our family, if you've made your choice with yours?
I made a choice based on what I was given. Would I have liked more? Absolutely. But we don't always get the same choices.
We don't. And we also, she'll motion to Hermia, we also made choices. And yeah, I gave up a lot of safety. Or Hermia, you could say, gave up wealth.
I mean, yeah, money ain't everything, though. I
I've
mean,
seen
would I
some
have
of
been
your-
happy? No. Would I have been married off to some sleazy other noble guy and potentially been emotionally abused further? Most likely. Probably would still make the same choice of, peacing out as soon as I could. I'm gonna go back to sleep now, Maeve.
Okay.
Night, Sana.
Good night. Let Roz know. She waits for Hermia to, leave.
Mm-hmm.
Let Roz know that I tried.
I don't think you failed. I am glad that you're saying these things. I guess I just don't want this... I was hoping to prevent this irritation from having to be a wall between us. And maybe I don't need you to agree with what I did. That's okay.
I'm aware.
But if you can at least understand, then we can go from there. I'm willing to give it a try.
Well, like you said, understanding doesn't have to mean agreement.
Mm-hmm. I just don't want this to be a wall between us.
She looks a bit confused for a moment, like she's trying to figure out what to say next. What are your expectations of me, then?
I'd like to be your friend. I'd like to be able to talk about things. This is a fine conversation.
I haven't stopped you from broaching any topics.
Oh, good. I guess I just felt like this was such a... And maybe that was just me. It just felt like this was such a wall of resentment. So it felt kind of silly to talk about anything else without addressing it.
We're adults, Maeve. There's nothing that you can say that is going to make me run off like Kieran did.
That's fine, but again, I guess I just want to make sure. I don't know. I have made many mistakes in friendships before, and I'm trying to improve on it. And so I just wanted to check in with you about this one. If you feel that we're on kind of this sort of, okay, agree to disagree, then great. But if you feel this will color anything that that we might talk about, well, that's why I'm here.
No, I don't think you have to worry about that.
Okay. Well, I guess just know that we'll agree to disagree on my father and Xenotol. I think my father would have liked you.
Maybe.
Sometimes we're all kind of awkward fits with the people we're raised with, and sometimes we're not.
She nods.
This is freezing. Do you enjoy?
It's
do you do this
fine to just enjoy the moment. You don't have to always talk.
All right. She'll just sit in the water.
Okay. So eventually the next day comes. I believe this might end up being your final day. I think we have one more night.
Okay.
Yes, because you got started a little bit late, so you have one more night. So did anybody want to use the stone today?
Hermia would have liked to wake up early the next day before
Okay.
everyone else is awake. Just to go off and fucking hit trees with her sword. And just get some
Okay.
frustration and annoyance out.
Easy enough to do. And as you hit the trees, it leaves that same black scar that you're used to seeing on people. The smaller trees literally like wilt before you. After maybe 10 minutes of doing this, your sword speaks up. Do you feel better hitting things that can't defend themselves?
Yeah.
Suppose
Why?
that's something then?
I'm just annoyed and frustrated, and I figure it's better to hit a tree than other people.
It depends on the people.
Well, I mean, there's no, bandits out, and I can't exactly go wander off to go find some.
You've been improving, Hermia. I just wanted to let you know that I'm proud of the way that you handled that abomination in the mine. And you did so without Rosalind at your side.
I'm just irritated that okay, so my family had money and they were wealthy. Doesn't mean I'm some spoiled rotten kid. Doesn't mean that anything that I went through is any less valid. they didn't beat me, okay? So that's the positive thing. But they pretty much did everything else. Doesn't mean I'm weak or that I'm stupid.
Can I share something with you?
Sure.
When you and Rosalind were talking the other day, I had another memory. Would you like to see it?
I mean, if you want to share, I'm not gonna make you.
Like last time, it's more of a sort of snapshot in your mind that you see. It's another scene, and like last time, it's just shapes and shadows. You can't really make out any features. But there are more silhouettes this time. They all have swords or weapons drawn. Someone is on their knees, injured or out of breath maybe, trying to hold at bay a handful of others. And behind them is another figure. This figure in the middle that's on the ground seems to be protecting this other lone figure from a group. You feel feelings of fear, anxiety. It's just a memory, a flash, really. But your fight or flight is telling you to run. But something is also keeping you there in that moment. I don't know what it means or if it has any bearing or resemblance to the first fragment that I saw, but every time that you seem to get closer to someone, it unlocks something in my own memories.
I mean, I can relate to the feeling. I mean, remember when I was like basically like insulting everybody in the last fight we had? Being like really vocal and obnoxious?
Yes, I think it distracts you from your swordplay.
Okay, well it also distracts me from being anxious and scared and wanting to run and hide. Like you have this like instinct, this drive to just save yourself and fuck everybody else, but the stronger feeling is just standing your ground and like, I don't know, protecting something.
Suppose that makes a bit of sense.
I mean, my internal, self-doubt is loud. So sometimes I have to just yell louder than it. Anyway, I should probably get back before they send like Sana after me and I have to deal with her giving me mental looks again.
All right, so you and your sword head back to camp. Rosalind and Hermia, would you like to do your science?
Yes.
Science.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So,
I'm gonna watch Lester fly.
Roz is gonna first think towards Light. Are you available to help us test this?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then she will take the sending stone and she will focus on her sister, Tiefling, in the abyss. And she will think, testing, test, check, 1, 2, check 1, 2.
Light goes, nothing. And then you hear another voice. I'm sorry, what? Who is this? What is... Hello?
Oh no.
What?
Oh no.
Roz drops the stone. Did the light voice also sound like Light?
Not as
Not as tieflingy?
experienced, we'll say.
Honey, not all tieflings sound the same.
Is it broken?
Oh no.
Light, did you hear that?
Through you, yes.
I think you're here.
It stands to reason that if you met Triv or Jeff, that versions of us could be there as well.
Right, but why light? I focused on you. And doesn't that mean Mom's here?
It may.
Oh, okay. She turns a little green around the gills, and leans on to pick up the sending stone and hand it back to Maeve. I don't want to play with the sending stone anymore.
What happened?
My sister responded to me.
Okay.
Well, the light of this world responded to me.
Oh.
I'm gonna say something, given that, like, Hermia is like, trained in Arcana. She did, like, go to school for it, and you can decide how smart it sounds. Well, have you ever thought that maybe it's not, like, different worlds, or maybe it's also, like, different timelines? Like different decisions were made that ended up, like, creating, like, offshoot of, like, the people you know?
I mean, yeah, it's one of the things that I thought about. I just, yeah. Whew. I mean, Jeff is Jeff. He's kind of everywhere anyway.
Yeah, he is.
And
He doesn't
Triv
really
is,
count.
but Triv, I thought, okay, maybe just an insane coincidence, but oh, okay. Well, fun. I might need to use the stone again at some point.
Yeah, well,
No, actually, maybe actually it might be best if I don't do that. Actually, maybe I think I should try and just stay out of that.
I mean, it's up to you, but if it makes you feel better, now we know that maybe I don't know. It's the stone's not broken, Maeve.
Stone's
But,
not broken.
I
It's
still need to
a
figure
mystery.
out why I just heard an echo instead of, like, hearing nothing or someone
should-
replying. So
we
I'll talk to Pumat tomorrow.
That's fine.
All right. Was there anything anyone else wanted to do before you reached Allfield?
Leo, you okay?
Yeah, this ale's awesome. It makes this bumpy ride less bumpy.
You've been like drinking that straight for 3 days.
Yes, Zana and Leo have shared at least 1 or 2 drinks a day. By the time you get to Allfield, that keg is going to be half empty.
Hermia would want to also, like, talk to Maeve after the other night.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, sorry for kind of leaving abruptly and kind of being rude. I don't know. Yeah, I could have misinterpreted it, but, I mean, given what she said previously, it kind of seemed like, I don't know, Zana just thinks less of me and thinks that, I'm just spoiled and my life wasn't that bad. And
Yeah.
Maeve, I know I joke about it all the time, but, I mean, it still is hurtful and terrible what my parents have said.
Of course it was.
I mean, I just, like, I don't know. It's easier to deal with when I just made it into a joke. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm a loser. Cause then, usually if I acted like, it didn't bother me, they would just leave me alone eventually.
Of course.
And it was honestly better when they were just ignoring my entire existence than just constantly nitpicking and zeroing in on my insecurities and making me feel like garbage. And so, I mean, I don't know. I'm just annoyed at Zana now. Like, it's fine if she has her own opinion, but I didn't appreciate it.
I understand, and I'm sorry you had to walk into that. I probably should have known what it was going to be like. I was trying to clear the air with her because my last conversation with her, she expressed her irritation at the fact that I ran away from home and kept trying to convince me that I was just running away from home and wasting my life on that. And, well, I think I kind of hit a nerve at one point because it sounded like she was comparing my father to Xenotol.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, it's like I said, it's not a competition. Like, it doesn't mean that, like, she has any right to judge on your life and what happened in your life. You don't know. Even she might have just got a peek. I mean, people peeked at me, like, all the time with my parents, but they never knew, like, how they were really like when people weren't watching.
Mm-hmm. Of course. I think she hasn't figured out if her life is something that she's happy about or not.
I mean, but that's her problem. Why does she have to drag me into it?
I think, unfortunately, she had thought maybe there was a way to come together about it all. She mentioned afterwards that she felt like she should tell Ross she tried. I attempted
Was that
to
her
correct
trying?
I don't know. I may have egged her on that one accidentally. Either way, you don't need to worry about it.
Okay, well, I mean, for what it's worth, I didn't come over there, to fight. But, I mean,
I know. Maybe
I can say stuff that, just, I'm hot-headed, I guess, literally. Points to her hair.
Yes.
That's all I wanted to say.
It's okay. I have been meaning to ask. Your hair changes color.
Yeah, it's not. So in my city, when we come of age, we pick a season, like the embodiment of like who we are.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
I chose summer because it was what I wanted to be. In reality, I'm not. I wouldn't say I have a fiery personality. Like, I'm just kind of meek and quiet. But I wanted to be like, like my brother, like cool and like, badass. But it our emotions kind of play into like, what our appearance looks like. So like in my city, like they're pretty like strict on like having, control over your emotions and stuff. Because when we're not, like, our appearance changes. So when I'm sad or, gloomy, my hair kind of starts getting darker, like, becoming a darker palette, more of a winter. So yeah, sometimes it changes without me really noticing until, I look in the mirror. And then I can't always change it back right away, because depending on how upset I am. Kind of surprised I didn't change color last night. I might have, but I don't know.
It's a
I feel
little
better.
dark to tell. I see. Is winter thought of so poorly where you come from?
No, it's not necessarily the winter that's the season that's thought of bad, but more of like, not having a grasp on the one that we chose, not being in control of ourselves. Everything is really practiced and, graceful, you could say. If you are displaying these barrage of emotions, it's seen as like unseemly, like something's wrong with you.
Strange. Not like that where I come from.
Well, that's good. It's a terrible ideology.
It's not perfect where I come from either, to be fair.
I guess
but
like all places kind of have,
there are
things
issues.
to be desired.
Oh yeah, grass is always greener and all that stuff, but I can see how that would be troubling. But you should be who you are. You don't need to pretend to be anyone else.
I mean, I'd like to think that, I've kind of lived up to the to the season, I guess, recently, trying to be brave. Like Roz. Roz is brave all the time.
She's sometimes brave, but even Roz has her moments. We all do.
Luster climbs up your back onto your shoulder, Maeve, and like stands up on his hind legs, holding your head for support, and kind of puffs his chest out. He's brave all the time.
You're a brave boy.
Luster's
That's right.
definitely brave.
He is a brave boy.
He points to
very
the
brave.
to the ribbon around his neck from the Sword Quest zone.
Yeah, he won. He won. Like I never have won like a thing like that, Luster. That's pretty great.
We're also gonna
Yeah.
say that even when he's in little dragon form, he still has wings, so he jumps off and starts swooping around you. And
That's fine.
rest of the day passes uneventfully as you come to the last night before you should reach Allfield. During the night, Rosalind,
Oh boy.
you awaken at some point in the night to find everyone else is asleep. Even those who are supposed to be on watch. As you start to stir and move, you find that you're sluggish, slow. It's not quite, but it's almost like a sleep paralysis almost. You open your mouth and your words are caught in your throat. And then you see her. An Asamar with silver skin, one red eye glowing in the darkness, reflecting the crackling embers of the fire while the other is covered by a patch. Long, tangled, blood-red hair that blows gently in the breeze as she walks among the group. That tattered black gown with abyssal chitness armor over it. I don't make many mistakes, Rosalind. A whip made of several obsidian shards like razor blades on a rope drags alongside her. It dangles above the bodies of the second chances as she steps around them, dragging it over their exposed flesh, but no blood is drawn. Wondering if this is another dream or not, she grins. When I first showed myself to you, what did I say? Do you remember, little girl?
She nods. Told me to earn it.
Evelyn doesn't raise weaklings. I was wrong. You are weak. Emotional. All you care about is yourself. How you feel at the end of the day. Through light, I can sense all of your reservations, your doubt, your hate, and that is what makes you weak. Selfish. Because you don't have the strength to use what you have to overcome your foes. She turns, begins to walk amongst your friends once more. Evelyn's power isn't her own, you know. She gets it from Light and I. And we, in return, get that power from one another. She looks back to you. Should we feel guilty using it? Would you?
No, you shouldn't feel guilty.
What about when you consider who gave it to us? We wouldn't have these gifts without the Flesh Crafter. We are able to do what we do because of him. She looks around the encampment. I always envied his ability to seamlessly walk between worlds. She smiles at you. Which of them do you treasure the most, Rosalind?
Don't go down this road.
Is it the little sister whose confidence you've strengthened? She looms over Hermia. Is it the mentor? The father who doesn't push his ideals on you? She steps past Leo. Or your equal? The one who leads in a way you never will be able to. She crouches near Maeve. Is it? She glances at Zana, her face changing to enlightenment. The other warrior. What could have been had Evelyn not found you?
Don't go there.
You hate what she reminds you of. What you've left back home, what you've got that others haven't. That's it, isn't it? That's why you hate yourself for using these powers. Why you and not her? What makes you worthy? Maybe I should do you a favor, sister.
Don't do this.
Roz, you hear a woman's voice as your hand starts to burn, to glow a dull golden color. Use it. It's a new voice, one you've never heard before, but there's some familiarity to it. You can't place why. It's not mine. It's yours, and it always has been. No one can take it away. Are you not listening to me? The whip solidifies into a sword above Zana.
She kind of jerks up. Can I move towards her?
You can try. You have something glowing in your hand, a power.
Yeah.
Do you want to use it?
Do I get the sense like it's something to her? Yeah, she's trying to tap into it. Can't figure out, is this something to throw?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, she's going to aim for the sword and try and knock it out of her hand with this power.
Make a spell attack roll with Guiding Bolt.
Ooh. All right. Spell attack. We're gonna spend inspo. Thank you, inspo. Dirty 20, because it was a 1 otherwise.
And you're aiming for the sword specifically.
Yes, she's gonna try and blast the sword out of her hands.
All right. As she thrusts it down, you do so, and it clatters away. She looks back towards you. Disappointing. And she vanishes. And you suddenly jerk up in the middle of the night again. And that is where we will leave tonight's session.
Ooh.
Do you get guiding bolt?
I don't know.
We'll find out next time.
Roll